diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. Check, we Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness is really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Rick flaring on them. Rick flaring on them. Rick flaring on them. Rick flaring, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, we back.
Yo,
Appreciate you for reaching
you a
out.
star.
I'm like, hey, it's Outspoken. A lot changed. Granted, the concept we still hosting. Giving you the fix you need when on the screen. The veteran, Captain Petty, giving you medicine. Come tap in. You know Scott gon' do what he do. Might not want to hear it, but here go the hard truth. Perry about the numbers, regret if you're not fact-based. When you run your lane, the numbers seem like a statue. Wait. Hey, Scotty, man, I'm not feeling it. I don't think the people feeling it. Let me get in my bag a little bit, just showing what this Outspoken really about to be like. Outspoken, this is more than conjecture. These days they laying people off, so glad that we got our own. Hunger insatiable, made for you if you say you objective. Hard truth offering, no offense, just perspective. Come get your dosage and go with me. We spit it like poetry. The pivot was pivotal, could right here, but I'd rather not. Some say Scotty, some call him Scott, the best one since Stewart. If you know, then you know, but if you don't, then you're lost. Let me be frank for a minute, cause we all know that's how Perry be. Break it down the game for what it was, no apologies. This my hypothesis, you tune in, you like watching it. It's common sense, obvious, competent, rugged, and confident. Hey, we outspoken. We outspoken. We outspoken. This is Outspoken. Outspoken.
Hey, back. I think we got another.
What is going on, everybody? You already know what it is. It's your boy Scotty back with another one. It's Monday, Celebration Bowl week. And you know I got to do a show. Got to have my brother from another. Please give it up, my boy, Perry White. Oh, wrong one, Perry. I'm changing up the sound so much.
Hey, you actually can run that Who is Swag. Go on, run that.
Hey.
Yeah.
Swag. Hey, that J go hard.
Yeah, you can roll that.
That J go hard. Hey, who is swag if I ain't swag, baby? Who is swag if I ain't swag? It's a very valid question.
I see you laced up today.
Huh?
I see you laced up.
Yeah. You know, I ain't want nobody. I ain't want nobody to even pontificate if I was going with another team. Listen, because you be the first one. Because you be like, oh, you were so high on Howard, Scotty. What?
Scotty, you were so high on Howard, Scotty. All season I've been hearing about Howard, the bite. I mean, arguing, going, debating with me back and forth. I'm talking about why they one of the top 5 best teams in the nation, taking L's, and then here we are, an opportunity for you to really represent Howard, and you gonna go do something like this. All right. I know Willie Simmons your boy and all, but God, dog.
It's not even about that. Shout out to Willie Simmons. It's not even about that. It's just about who's the better team. And, we'll get into all that. But I ain't want, if you are a Howard fan and you just so happen to click on this, I didn't want you to even think who's Scotty going for. It's on my back. It's on my chest. I bleed orange, baby. I bleed orange. I bleed peas and carrots. I bleed it.
Just gave up on the Bison this weekend, huh?
I mean, listen, man. I rolled with them as long as I could until they had to go up against FAMU, and I just had to say, hey, it just is what it is, man.
So FAMU better than Northwestern?
Why?
FAMU better than Eastern Michigan?
See, I got to slide for that.
All right. I'm just trying to see
you jump
how
the gun.
good.
You jumping the gun. Now you only want people to stay to the end of the show because you try to jump the gun.
I'm on your case right now. I mean,
I'm just saying.
I thought Howard was so great,
They
But
are.
I'll say
They're not bad.
yeah. I'll put my seatbelt on. I'm in for the ride. Let's
Right.
go.
Yeah, man. God dang, you know what I'm saying? we just got on the road. I gotta take a pee break. I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, God damn, we just started driving.
I saw McDonough. I couldn't resist. We had to stop and get some fries.
You get a McFlurry? Like,
Yeah.
no, come on,
Hot
man.
and spicy, baby. They got to get a hot and spicy.
Hey, real talk though. Them spicy McChicken sandwiches.
We call them hot and spicy.
That's what they call it?
A hot and spicy.
Oh yeah. That thing.
Spicy McChicken sandwich. No, hot and spicy.
Boy, try to tell you.
Every state don't sell them either.
You said what?
Every state don't sell them. You can't find them everywhere either.
Really? I didn't know they were.
Most places just sell a McChicken, not the hot and spicy. So
she said not too much on the peas and carrots. Hey,
somebody said happy belated birthday. Thank you.
Yeah, Vernica Collins said happy belated birthday.
Thank you, Vernica Collins. I appreciate that.
All right, listen. I hate to do it, but I got bills to pay. And the wife said what it is. So I'm gonna give you guys until after the first section. Enjoy your comments. If you're not a member, it becomes a member only contest. So it just is what it is. Hey, listen. I feel if it was up to me, guys, it'd be free 99. But the missus, she's a little stickler on the funds. Okay, she's a little stickler on the funds. And she's a little bougie, so she needs what she needs. Okay, I married her, so it's just happy spouse, happy house. That's what they say. Anyway, so Perry, before we get into hot and viral, I need to ask you a question. People ask me this. Best Christmas gift ever that you could remember that you're like, man, I remember when I got this and it was like OM jizzle.
Can I remix it? Can I tell you the worst?
Oh yeah. Give me that. I'll take that.
So I'm gonna tell you guys, and this is for everybody out there. This is why you always go into things with a good heart. Years and years ago, man, I was a kid, and was in Chicago. My mom and grandmother. If anybody knows, out in Calumet City, they got the shopping center back then was real big, River Oak Shopping Center, and hanging out for the holidays. And they asked me, "What are the latest games that's out?" Because what we want to do, we want to go get your cousin some games for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in my head, they asking me to pick my cousin games, so they must already got the stuff that I was asking for. Cool. So this is why you got to go into it with a good heart. And this is a lesson learned for everybody out there. In my head, I'm thinking like, I'm going to pick all the whack-ass games so my cousin won't have the same games as me. So, man, we go to GameStop, whatever stores we went to, man, and I'm picking all this whack shit for the PlayStation. I'm talking about games nobody wants to play, right? Christmas comes, I open up my gifts. Guess who got all the whack-ass games? Me. They thought
that's what you wanted.
They thought like, hey, he in here. I'm talking about have at it too. Just go get what you want. Like this is for your cousin, man. Get him right. Man, I picked all them whack ass games, bro. Listen, I'm talking about
what system was this on?
It was on a PlayStation, man, but it was just a bunch of whack. PlayStation, it's so many games outside of just the regulars. Like I used to like Need for Speed, all the NCAAs, the Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, San Andreas, those type of games early on. I picked these whack ass. I can't even tell you the name of these whack ass games, bro. The games where the good games be like $50 and these whack ass games like $19.99.
Yeah,
that's what I picked. So for everybody that's out there, always go into the Christmas. You see the tree back here. Always go into the holidays with a good heart when you give a gift, and give a gift that you feel like you would like. Don't do it the other way around. All right.
Yeah.
So that's the worst gift. Greatest gift, I don't know, man. I think the greatest gift last year was not just the fact of an actual gift, but having family come down. A lot of my family hadn't quite necessarily came to Louisiana, but to have my family come to Louisiana, we spent Christmas here in my house last year. So that was a good feeling to have everybody together. And that was the first time we had actually spent Christmas together. Man, I'm talking about, it's been years since probably when I picked that whack ass Christmas gift. So don't do it, bro. So y'all go into it with a good heart, and hopefully it turns into a greatest gift ever for somebody. Because for me, it was the wackest damn gift, and it was nobody's fault but mine.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit you with the same. I'm gonna go bad to good. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Gilbert. He bought me a new gaming chair, sent it to the crib. Appreciate you, my guy. That's all love. This ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't the chair, but but he did though. Worst Christmas ever. So let me tell you this. My mom had this thing to where if you got in trouble around, now I'm an only child, but if you got in trouble around Christmas, there is no Christmas, right? Like it's Merry Christmas and move your happy ass along, right? So I'm telling you, tree up, lights going, because my mom looked at it like, oh, like you just saved me a whole bunch of money for not, for getting in trouble around Christmas time. So
you saying you used to get in trouble?
Not all the time, but sometimes I got caught slipping and I missed it. You know what I'm saying? So this one year, I'll never forget it. She was like, I got in trouble. She was like, you ain't getting no Christmas. I'm like, dang, right? So she was dating this guy at the time. Her name was Mr. Steve, not Mr. Campbell.
Because, he liked to brag about coming on in the, I used to buy y'all your little bikes when you was a little boy. and get your mama these wigs when we go to church. Okay.
His name was Mr. Steve, but it was not Mr.
That explains all this FAMU shit. Okay. I get it. It's a small world.
Oh, that is funny. I was like, oh shoot, let me make the delineation, right? So she was dating this guy named Mr. Steve. So he was like, I guess my mom told him not to get me anything, but he still got me something anyway. Man, he got me this 1985 train set, And when I tell you I play with that, because mind you, this ain't no Hot Wheel track, so it literally just went around like in a circle. Like you put it on, you put the batteries in, and that thing just go like just real slow around. Boy, I was looking at you'd have thought that thing was, I don't know, anything. Boy, that thing was just like this.
Did the steam come out the top?
Not even steam. It didn't even steam. It didn't go in no figure 8. It literally went in a circle around the tree. My mom was so mad at him, boy. She's like, I did not tell you nothing. Yeah, my
That's
mom.
that Family Dollar train set.
Boy, that junk was ass. But I played with that thing like you would have thought it was a PlayStation.
It got 4 straightaways and 4 curve tracks. That's it.
Yeah, that thing was ass. It was ass. Did it have a horn? I think it was like, a train.
You had to do the damn horn yourself, huh?
Probably. I can't remember. But I remember that thing was ass, but I played with that thing hard. My best gift, my mom had a thing to where she would tell you what to open. Right? Like you couldn't just run downstairs and like pick up a gift. My mom would be like, open that one. Nope, open that one, right? So I got through everything. And when you're expecting a certain gift and it's not what it is, for me, I was just like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's clothes, it's socks.
That's exactly my son opening shit. And he realized his socks and clothes. He was
book.
I don't want no damn book.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, So, because that was the year the PS4 came out. So, PlayStation 3. So, I'm mad. I'm hot. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, so then my mom was like, can you go get me something behind the couch? I'm like, boy, that PlayStation 3 was sitting right there. Boy, you would have thought I would $1 million, boy. That day was, I was like, let's go. Yes. So that was the best Christmas ever. My mom pulled that PlayStation 3 out from the side of the couch.
Let me ask you this. What age were you when you got to the point where you was just like, give me the money? Because I got to that age where I wasn't messed up about the
probably about 16. About 16. I was just like,
yeah.
I ain't care about no tree. I ain't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, at this point in time, my mom she got like a little Christmas rug. She putting the gifts on the rug. We ain't getting no tree. Because we had gotten a real, like, our thing was we always got a real tree and it had to hit the ceiling. Like that was just our thing. Like we got the biggest tree. Now, mind you, I'm an only child. My mom is a mom. So guess who's trying to drag in a tree every year? You. Me. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody know, dragging in pine brittle trees ain't fun. You know what I'm saying? And then if you got carpet and your pine needles fall on the carpet and oh my God. If you know, you know. Okay. If you're from up north, you know. If you know, you know. So it is just I'm just like, Mom, listen, you ain't about to drag the tree in. You ain't about to put the tree up. You know what I'm saying? My mom gave me like a glimpse of like women in life, because she'd be like, she'll sit on the sofa and be like, move the lights. And I'm like, you're not even helping.
Damn direct up in here.
You know what I'm saying? You missed the spot.
Yeah.
Why don't you move that light bulb up there? Move that. But I'm looking back like, and you can't say that because you
ready for this shit to be over. Listen, my mom, when Christmas come, the house decked out with Christmas stuff. Black angels and black Santas all over the place. We listening to all we listening to that Black Christmas CD at least for 35 days consecutively.
Yeah.
Right? In the car, in the house, you're going to get all that Black Christmas. I'm talking about nonstop. So.
That is.
And we didn't do the white angels and the white Santa Claus, none of that stuff. But the house was decked out. The wreath on the door. I would have to go out, put some lights around outside the house, throw some on the bush. She was real festive when it came to it. And I'm just like you. Guess who had to do it? It was me. I had to get up with the staple gun, staple the lights around, all that.
Dog.
Put the garland up.
What's the garland? What's that?
Garland.
What's that?
The green stuff.
Oh yeah, we ain't had no garland.
Yeah, garland. Sometimes you put it like if you got a door opening, or you put it over the opening in the house, or You can run it along some, all that stuff.
Yeah, I ain't never. We ain't
Carly,
that,
man, I know about that one.
we ain't that festive. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't that festive. We have a big ball of lights that we like. You tie up and then shake them jokers out when Christmas come, and you get it going. But a garland? Nah, I've never.
How long were you last year? This
the lights going till February at least.
Yeah.
They ain't coming down until February.
I left this tree up right here flashing, doing what it's doing till March last year. Everybody was walking the house like, bro, what the hell is up with this? I'm talking about this thing was doing this all the way to March. So they told me I got to make it a Mardi Gras tree this year. So that's what I'm going to do.
That's dope. That's dope.
Once the Christmas season is over, I'm a Mardi Gras this thing. I got plenty of beads and everything else from over the years. So I think that's what I'm going to do because it was pretty bad last year.
Hey, listen, man, listen. Like my trees, man. Now the tree was gone pretty quickly, because we never did fake trees. I had never done a fake tree until I got out on my own and started dating other girls, and then they're like, "Oh, let's put up a tree." I'm like, "Are we buying it?" Oh no, I got a fake one. A fake tree?
Yeah.
Like I never even knew what a fake tree looked like because I just never had a fake tree. You know what I'm saying?
Right here.
You know what I'm saying? You got the pre detonate lights and all that. I'm like, hey, that's fancy. I'm like, that's fancy. You know what I'm saying? But I like, me and Key took the kids to a Christmas a tree jank where they got to cut down their own tree and stuff like that. Like, to me, that's an experience. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just like the lights. Like I can sit here and I cut the lights off, man, and this all you see is flashing. Then this thing got like 10 different speeds. It can just be single. It can do whatever you want, man. It's like 10 different settings with these lights, bro. So some nights I just be in here just, like, wow. I like it. So
that's dope. That's dope, man. That's cool. But I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. My son, he might not be having a Christmas because he ain't, you know what I'm saying? So he
gotta give him a bag of coal.
Yeah, so he about to be out in the cold. That's what he about to be.
Damn,
that's where he about to be. All right, let's get into a little hot and viral.
Uncle P getting back right. Uncle P getting back on the right track.
We're getting them bad PlayStation games. All right, yeah. Let's get to it. Huge upset. No. Wait a minute now. Aren't you a Razorback fan?
I am.
What? Hold on. Sorry, I got a parent. Go ahead. Yeah, aren't you a Razorback fan?
Yeah.
What do y'all say? Suey, nee, what?
Woo pig suey.
Yeah.
Well, we had this. Everybody got their favorite Confederate team, and don't act like you don't, because I saw how everybody was acting about Alabama and Georgia and LSU, Florida State. All the black folks was cheering for Jaden Daniels. So yeah, I'm a black person with a favorite Confederate team, and Arkansas is that. But I mean, to see UAPB, let me tell you something. There were years where the University of Arkansas never played any schools in state, right?
Really?
And you have Division I schools like Arkansas State, UCA, University of Arkansas, Little Rock, Euler, and UAPB. Arkansas refused to play, and it all came about when they had this old school athletic director by the name of Frank Broyles. And if you saw him and you listen to him, you understand when I say old school, what kind of guy he was. But Arkansas then has since changed that. They played UAPB in football. They'll be playing Arkansas State coming up. But then in the other sports like baseball and basketball, they've been trading and going around playing schools from around the state. And never in a million years, when I tell you, I can remember the days of UAPB's women's basketball just completely being, it's more going on my tree back here than it was with UAPB women's basketball, right? I'm talking about no one would be at the games. And I can recall this stuff, man, but never in a million years would I thought UAPB would be able to beat the Razorbacks in anything. And that's just the fact of the matter. I mean, UAPB traditionally just has always struggled with teams in the state of Arkansas. And so to see them go on the road, to go to Fayetteville, of all the places, and to get this victory, man, listen, it did something to me because I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. And I'm proud of them to be able to do that because that means a lot. Because if you don't understand the state of Arkansas, And a lot of people don't realize, even though UAPB is an HBCU, Arkansas, in terms of the number of African Americans across the South, Arkansas has the least amount of African Americans in the population. It's about 2 million people that live in the state of Arkansas. Arkansas only has 500,000 black people, just a little over 500,000 black people. So it's a predominantly ran white state. And to see UAPB go into there, a place, especially with the Razorbacks, and yeah, I can be a fan. I know how they are up there in Fayetteville. But to see this, man, it did something to me. And I never thought I'd see today. Congratulations, hats off. I talked to Chris Robertson, the athletic director, earlier today. I said, first of all, is the media showing you guys love in terms of what you did? Because I know they'll shy away and act like this shit didn't happen because the Razorbacks typically get all the spotlight. Is the media showing you love? And what does this do for your program as you elevate it, man? I'm just proud of them. Congratulations to them, man. And this was a huge, huge upset to get their first win ever as a program over a Power 5 school.
Let me ask you this, Pete. What was the response by the AD when you asked him that?
He just said, man, this is what we're trying to do. We're continuously building. We're growing from here. These are the type of hires that he made at UAPB in terms of wanting to take the program up and elevate it. And like I told him, the next step is now you got to brand and market this. You got to be able to sell this, because when you beat the best team who's supposedly in the state of Arkansas, because mind you, Arkansas just beat number 15 Florida State last week in the ACC SEC Challenge. They went on the road. Arkansas did women's basketball and went on the road to beat a really good Florida State women's basketball team. People know what I be doing, bro. And they should still be trying to. I'm talking. But for them to go on the road and get this done, they just beat SMU a couple days ago. They lost a tough one to North Texas. Man, UAPB, listen. If you in the SWAC in women's basketball,
watch out.
Gotta take them serious, because they are a legit contender. They played for the SWAC championship last year. They're a legit contender, man. And I think they got a lot to build off of. And now it's going to be the question for UAPB. You got a coach who's now in a position doing these types of things. What are you going to do to have to be able to keep her now? You know, they just gave her a contract extension and keeping her around. But when you get a coach catching attention like this, little old UAPB going up to Fayetteville, beating the big bad Razorbacks, you start to grab the attention of people, and people will start calling and knocking at the door to figure out what can they do to lure you away from Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
And listen, I said it, and I'll say it again. FAMU dropped the ball with not going to go get Don Thornton. I'm going to say that right now. Listen, I have always been a fan of Diva. Let me tell you, I've always been a fan of Diva. And it's just the mindset that she instills in her players. It's the bravado that she has, the bravado that she puts into her players. Shout out to Zay Green. Shout out to Davenport. Shout out to all those girls who came up with the big victory at the end. And I mean, that's just huge for the program. And if you look at their schedule, I mean, it has been rugged. I'm talking about Oregon State. They should have beat North Texas. You know, they had a lot of top matchups in the beginning. So their schedule their record might show you one thing, but the schedule is that hard, right? So I don't want people to be like, oh, you know, they're only 3 and whatever or 4 and whatever. But at the end of the day, this team has had a tough schedule to get through. So shout out to UAPB. Shout out to Coach Dawn Thornton and everything that she does when it comes to UAPB. What's up, man? I mean, what we doing?
I said UAPB, now everybody from UAPB trying to blow my phone up. How you going to call me in the middle of me doing this? I don't understand. And listen, you know what's even big about this? They got Ole Miss coming to Pine Bluff Thursday.
Ooh, listen. I need people. I don't even know what the gym's called, but I need you in the building. If you're in and around Pine Bluff, take your ass to the building. Make it a murder scene, okay? Make it ruckus. Make it Cameron Indoor Stadium. Make it like, hey, don't come up in our crib. Now, what I will tell you is I'm gonna do everything possible to get to that UAPB and Jackson State game. I gotta make it. It's in Pine Bluff. I got to get there. For that one.
And UAPB does a great job for a basketball atmosphere. What they do, they create a great basketball atmosphere. H.O. Clemens Arena, that's correct. We call it the Hyper. The hyper complex. If you've been around UAPB, it's the hyper. But man, if you're a UAPB fan or if you just in the area, when you get an opportunity to get a school like Ole Miss to come to town, we don't see that often on this level. Mm-hmm. And Ole Miss's head coach, women's coach, is a graduate of UAPB. So there's some connection there. But to be able to see them come to town, man, and then getting this big victory over the University of Arkansas, man, the entire Pine Bluff, Little Rock, everybody in the surrounding areas, man, you better be right there because this is the type of stuff you talk about you want. Now you got to be able to support it.
Shout out to Zoe. He said, shout out to Coach Yo at Ole Miss. She's really cool with both Reed and Don to take her team on the road to play there. Hey, man, that's respect. You know what I'm saying?
Coach Yo is a UAPB graduate.
Oh, wow. That's dope. That's dope. That is absolutely dope. And I don't know if anybody heard the interview with Don. I'm not with what's the coach from South Carolina? Don Staley. She was because somebody asked her about why she's playing HBCUs, and she said when she was at Temple, we couldn't get any major programs to come play us for the spotlight, for the notoriety. So she said that's what she does. She wants to give back in that manner because she know how she felt when she was coaching and nobody would want to come play her. So shout out to Don for doing that as well. Let's dive a little deeper, right? Huge news in the forms of how the NIT has now changed, and it's going to be a hindrance to HBCUs. And this is the news that came out. That will change this season after the Board of Managers adjusted qualifying rules for its men and women's postseason tournaments. Regular season champs who did not win their conference tournament and are not otherwise selected for the NCAA tournament will not receive an automatic bid to the NIT. Instead, the NIT will guarantee berths for 2 teams based on net rankings from each of the major 6 conferences, the Atlantic Coast, the Big East, the Big 10, the Big 12, the Pac-12, and the SEC. And then that's 12. They do a 32. Then they said out of the 20 left, they will base those strictly off net ratings of who gets into the NIT tournament because this is what they said, it's because it's gotten so competitive that they want to make sure that they get the best teams involved. Now, continuing on the article, it says, based off these standards, Jackson State and Morgan, I believe, would not have made it into, I know Jackson State for women's side would not have gone into the NIT tournament, nor would the MEAX team would have gotten into the NIT tournament. Perry, what you got to say about this?
Does this sound like they're trying to keep us out?
It definitely does. It definitely does. I mean, because if you look at the overall net rating of the MEAC and the SWAC, they're like 29 and 31. Just as a conference, the RPI, whatever you want to call it, they're 29 and 31. And then the highest ranking on the men's side was Prairie View at 174. And I think the highest ranking one on the women's side is now UAPB with out of the SWAC, which was, somebody put it in the chat, I think it was like 118 or something like that. So 159. 188 to 159. So you're asking a lot for these teams because what they're really doing is saying, hey, we don't care about your conference. We care about your out of conference wins. And if you're not winning enough of those, you're not going into the NIT.
And that's why I'm glad what you're starting to see this year with the SWAC in terms of out of conference from the women's side and the men's side, building their RPI as individuals, institutions, and as a conference as a whole. Now, this is what they're going to start to use moving forward. At least we see the conference already taking a step forward as a whole by being able to go out and get great non-conference victories. So they can't be throwing this in our face when it's time to invite teams. And to me, hell, if you don't want me there, then I got to start scratching my head to say, do I really even want to go?
I think, even adding to that, Pia, is this. What's tough about it is that what happens is there has to be some accountability taken on both sides. One, I think because I want to be very clear, the NIT and the NCAA are 2 separate entities. All right, so I don't want you to say this is an NCAA thing. The NIT has its own board, it does its own thing. The thing is this: when you get into the tournament, you got to do something.
Yeah, you do.
You got to do something, right? Like
Alcorn fell flat on their face last year.
Yo, and Jackson should have beat Memphis. I'm sorry, like that's a winnable game.
When Alcorn, it was against North Texas, wasn't it?
And got demolished, demoed. And you know the Jack State and Memphis game wasn't like they ran away at the end, but you know like Jack State in the tournament, you got to beat LSU.
That was a hell of a game.
Up 10 with 4 minutes left. You can't lose games like that because then at the end of the day, you make your basketball valuable. Those are the moments that are solidified in history of making. Because now, think about it. If you beat them, if you would have beat them when you beat them, now they're national champions. You get what I'm saying? Like you beat the team that was on the cusp of building for. Now you can say that. So it's that you got to have those type of moments. And I think HBCUs, we dropped the ball on capitalizing on the moment because now you're in a situation where now you might not even get in anymore. You might not even have a chance.
Now I feel you on that. And one thing I will say about Dr. McClellan, if it's something he's talked about a lot, it is improving the basketball area of the SWAC, improving RPI and trying to get the SWAC in a better position when it comes to basketball. He is on the committee when it comes to NCAA basketball. He served as a regional director, I think, last year when presenting the trophy to the team that won its region. So he has worked, and I think you started to see the conference as a whole work together to try to go out and get those victories. We saw Texas Southern men do that in the past, go out and get victories against like a Michigan State, a Kansas State. Now you see a Southern go beat a number 21 Mississippi State. You see a Jackson State go beat a Arkansas State. You're seeing a UAPB go on the road in women's to beat a University of Arkansas, just to name a few. You're starting to see it because if you look at the MEAC when it comes to basketball, the MEAC, when you look at North Carolina Central and Norfolk State, those programs play some good basketball. Howard as well.
Let me see something. Somebody said, Lawrence said, Scotty only applies. I'm reading it off of HBCU Sports. It says, and I'm gonna show you so guys don't be out here thinking I'm lying and stuff like that. So here's what it says right here. Let me zoom in. Barry, let me know when you can see it because I'm off. All right, here we go. Can you see that?
Okay. Yep.
It says men and women's D1 HBC teams are off to solid starts and non-conference notching over, but current might not be the part. Says national tournament, national invitation, blah blah blah. Let me see. It says adjusted qualifying rules for its men's and women's postseason tournament. This is off HBCU Sports. I'm not making this up. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's what it says. So if you got any concerns about what it is, that is what it is. All right. All right. Guys, I appreciate everybody. About to shut down the chat for the members only because we're about to get started with the show. Appreciate everybody for joining the chat. All right. And somebody said, I thought they were. Let me see. Yep. Anyway. All right. Let's get into it. Now, last question. What that coaching search looking like? Come on, insider.
You know, as much as you think you can be an insider, man, look, I text, I call, I show up. I can't force folks to give me information. I'm on the outside looking in. You know, I was a little bit more involved the last time of the coaching search, but then I realized it's really political around this thing. So I saw it firsthand. So I bagged up and I said, you know what? I'll take it as they give it. Even with the names that's being thrown out there with the Curtis Johnson and the DJ McCarthy's and everything else, you know, it's still really an uncertainty. As much as people say they know, it's like we really don't know. We don't have a clue. But I will say I text Roman Banks and had a conversation with him. And, man, I asked what was going on. What the information he gave me, he said they're down to 5 candidates and they'll be looking to make a hire. And that was this weekend within 3 to 5 days. So we can expect that maybe Southern will, what they say when they named the new pope with the white smoke.
Yeah, he come out and start letting people know it's coming.
I suspect we will find out who's going to be the next head coach at Southern University this week.
Okay. Any particular person you're leaning to, not like sources, just from what you've been hearing, and who are you leaning towards? I say, Scotty, I think this might be a guy.
I don't listening, had Jim on the show Saturday, and Jim put a point to me that I guess I had not thought about, but he did use Terrence Graves. And what the only thing that made sense to me when he mentioned Terrence Graves was Terrence Graves still one of those old school coaches, right? And I like old school. But he said, here's a guy that knows the program. If they can keep him, Terrence Graves could be in a position to be the CEO and really go out and try to find some great offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. And that's something about that for a second. I almost was, I hadn't even thought about that. Because in this direction that we're going, Southern now needs an identity moving forward as a football program, right? It's a football program that has not quite been able to keep up with the edge of the world of where we watch continuously grow around us. And that's the FAMU, that's North Carolina Centrals, and they're rolling. All corners right there. And Southern's going to have to find an identity. So for me, I really don't know to answer your question, Scotty, because I'm kind of all over the place with this one. And I've never really just been like this when it came to a coaching search. And I haven't seen many at Southern since I've been around, but I really don't know. At this point, I'm kind of like a wait and see. And I try to figure out once they name it, where does this go? Because the head coach is one thing. Who's the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinators are going to be for me, the make or the break. And I think in this space, we put so much emphasis on the figurehead, but it's not about the figurehead. It's about the people who below him that's going to develop these players, and as well as basically create the identity of these teams. And that's the biggest thing. So right now, I don't know, Scotty. I really don't know. Because even if you name a Terrence Graves, what if he go out and make some great hires with OC and DC? I don't know. So
I'll tell you this. If I do hire Terrence Graves, it's going to be at 210, 205, maybe 190, okay? And he's going to then he can have the money to go hire whoever he sees fit at the coaching staff, because he should be able to pay 90 to 100K for some good OCs and DCs, because you done got some of that Eric Dooley money back. But I'll tell you, if Terrence Graves is the hire, his salary bet not go over 205. Bet not.
And the thing about it, Southern priced this stuff out by giving Dooley all that money. Southern put itself in a position now. Everybody who's sitting at the table like, bro, you gave him that type of money?
Facts.
And then you don't want to spend with me. So if you want quality, you're going to have to come on with it, because if that was the minimum that you was willing to go and pay him, trust me, I'm coming in. You're going to have to go above and beyond that. And that's why I think you saw the article come out, and it said that Roman Banks had spoke about saying that, coaches did reach out and were interested, but they wanted Power 5 money. And no doubt about it, if you're willing to give this coach that and pay him out, you outpriced yourself. You should have started low, and then for me, any coach has to earn that money. When you give that coach money, like that deal Texas A&M did with Jimbo Fisher, I know you had to lure him, but man, I don't understand these mega deals in college football now, where you give these guys all these years.
Well, remember, that wasn't his initial deal. That was his extension deal.
But even then, you give this big extension. I mean, and it's just like kind of what they say in the NFL. Sometimes when the guys finally get that big payday and they get that money, they don't never seem to be that same dog no more, right?
Yeah.
You even see what we talk about in the entertainment business, like the rappers, right? It's like, okay, they finally made it. They ain't got that same drive in them like that no more. I think the same thing when it comes to this, man. Make a coach work for it.
Yeah.
3 years here, 3 years there, and we'll increase. We have incentives. We'll give you things, but first, show me your first 2-3 years in that you can develop a program. This thing can go in the right direction, and somewhere within those 3 years, we can see tremendous leaps and bounds in terms of where we're headed. So I know then maybe I can commit to you for another 3 years, but to give a guy that and owe him and then cut him.
The more you talk, the more you talking, the less the salary is going down for me. And the more you keep talking, I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about 175, 160, maybe 175. Because other than 2 Bayou Classics, what has Terrence Graves done? If you're using Terrence Graves to make it stable or give you an identity, I'm gonna pay you for the job. but I'm not going to pay you for what you can be because we don't know what you could. We don't know what you can be. So I'm going to pay you for what you're worth. What's the medium going on? If Trey Oliver is at 205, I think he got an NCCU at like 195. Like, you got to be at 160, 170. And to me, if I'm Southern, that's a steal if I can get you and then you hire some good guys, right? Because listen, I'd rather get a cheap guy that shows me something, or if it's bad, hey, you know what? All right, or then spend all the money, go all in on a high profile guy, and then I got to figure out a way like Grambling to pay you off in the back end. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Terrence Graves. All I'm saying is, to me, his resume does not deserve a head coaching job. That just, I mean, 2 Bayou Classics. I mean, what does that even mean? So that's just my personal opinion. But if that's something Southern wants to do because they want to control him with the politics and all that type of stuff, hey, that's fine. Do what you do.
That's why I bagged out of this one. I was involved the first time, you know, doing my part as an alum and my part as a lover of Southern football. But when I realized how deep and where this thing was going around, I bagged out this time. I said, hey, this is gonna be their decision. I'll sit back and watch what it looked like.
If he was making $80,000 as a DC, 120 sound real nice. $40,000 upgrade, pay raise, 130. I'm just saying 150 max. 150 max. I'm just saying that's where we're drawing the line at. All right, let's talk about a little 2023 season recap. Let's do some overviews of
what we're doing.
Overview. Okay. So let's start with some old look backs. All right, some old what was it? We want to go back, way back. Way back.
4 flats on a Cadillac.
And here is the topic at hand. Who will have the better record in the CAA?
What did you have for Hampton? What did you say Hampton was going?
6-5. I said possibly 6-5. I think their floor is 5-6. I think their floor is 5-6.
A&T had success last year. It wasn't enough. Hampton was right there. I think I'm gonna go with Hampton.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you, P. I think Hampton will have a better year than North Carolina A&T. Now, we were called a lot of things, B. Now, if people don't know, and I'm gonna bring it up because I got the receipts. What is Hampton's schedule? What was that schedule? That football schedule record? Let's look. Oh, let me see. Share this screen really quickly so you all can see this. Now, I'm no psychic. I'm no psychic, but that look like 5-6 to me, P. What that look like to you?
That's 5 wins, 6 losses.
Now we all know it. We all know what the A&T Aggies did.
I don't think everybody knows. You might have to pull that up.
You know what? You probably right, P.
Everybody don't keep up with the cousins no more since they left the neighborhood.
You know what? You probably right. Let me go ahead. Let me move this out the way. Let me go ahead and pull that right on up. Yeah. 0-8 in the conference. No wins. AP, they call us a lot of things, but a liar we shall not. A liar we should. It's a lot of programs out here to do a lot of false advertising. Not us. Once again, let me. If you're just new here, let's go back to the original video. Real deal question: who will have the better record in the CAA?
What did you have for Hampton? What did you say Hampton was going?
6-5. I said possibly 6-5. I think their floor is 5-6. I think their floor is 5 and 6. Now, I don't, P, the one thing about me, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know. You could, you probably. I don't like to say that I was right. That's not even in my DNA. I don't even believe that's who I am. But all I ask the people, I say, just tell me you was wrong. That's all. You didn't get, listen, I'm not going to tell you I was right. Just say you was wrong. I was wrong. Say you was wrong. That's it. But
we made a good call right there.
I think we did. I gotta give us a little little air fist bump on that one. All right, let's go to some other ones. Now, these are looking a little different. Now, Perry, please read off your tiers. Now, if you look real closely, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, at the top right, it says entering camp. So this is an early prediction. Go ahead, P.
I think when you look at the little dogs, they remain the same, right?
That look right on.
All right. A&M, Texas Southern, PV, Morgan. Optimism. Morgan was optimistic. PV was optimistic. Texas Southern. Even Alabama A&M, I can still roll with that. I think that all worked out the way I felt it was going to work out once the season. Unfortunately, Texas Southern lose Andrew Body. Alabama A&M, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. And Prairie View and Morgan were kind of like in a similar situation. You know, they battled. They had opportunities. They just couldn't get it done late when they needed it. Dark horse candidate, Alabama State did present itself as a possible candidate for dark horse. Norfolk,
no, absolutely not.
I haven't heard "Behold" in a while.
You ain't. That's it. And you're not.
And Grambling, I mean, look, for about a month there, after that Prairie View victory.
You said for about a month.
For about a month there, we was looking at Miles Crowley. We was looking at the offensive production. We were saying Grambling can throw the ball around. And when you saw them against LSU, they look like they can run the ball really well. Grambling for a second, and they got that victory in the State Fair Classic against Prairie View. It was like, okay. But after they went on the road to Alcorn and took that L, they never was the same for the rest.
They weren't.
You know, that really hurt them. But for a second, they looked like they was a possible opportunity to be a dark horse candidate. Bowl upside, both South Carolina State and Alcorn was there. South Carolina State, they were able to get a victory over Howard.
Fair.
You know, but it was just, they beat Norfolk. They was just tough on the back end. Alcorn blew it, right? Had it right there. They blew it against Texas Southern. Bowl or bust. You see what happened with Southern. We bust. They got our coach fired.
No homo.
Come on, man. Just trying to do a little show here. Make it rough on me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
FAMU, they got over the hump. Bowl, They had a bowl. Howard got over the hump. They had a bowl. Now, Jackson State, maybe I was putting a little bit more respect on them than what I thought. But the only reason I was saying that was I saw how high they were. So if they wasn't going to the bowl game or to the SWAC championship, it was a bust for them. And I think reality settled in on them late as the season started to dwindle down. And they realized, damn, this is a bust. It didn't feel good not to be in the SWAC championship or people mentioning your name in the Celebration Bowl. And then the top dog, North Carolina Central, damn, all season, bruh. Number one team the entire year. And it shows just how with the MEAC, because there's so few teams and so late in the season of conference play, one loss literally wrecked the entire season. And that's what happened with them. They will be headed to Atlanta this weekend to defend their title, but that one loss to Howard really hurt them. So, I think it worked out. FAMU, Howard, I had them right there. Southern got his coach fired. Jackson State, it was a bust. And then North Carolina Central, who I thought was the top dog, fell to Howard. But everything right there kind of looked like it worked out. Morgan and PV were optimistic this year. Texas Southern and A&M, I thought were. Grambling, like I said, for a month, I thought was like, oh. And to be honest, as much as we can knock Norfolk, they lost games by 7 points or less. I mean, they were right there in every game of the season.
You said they did what?
I said they lost. They were
Okay.
losing. Yeah. I see what you did there. You got me. Yeah. Yeah. It registered. I said he got me.
Oh man. Yeah, hey man, just at the end of the day, you can't be a dark horse candidate if you lose him. That don't translate.
They showed fight. They almost put themselves in a position to do it. But I think everything worked out the way I looked at it, except outside the dark horse. But they had an opportunity. I mean, losing by that amount of points for so many weeks, they was knocking at the door. So I'm okay with it, what I did preseason. It wasn't too bad.
The Tahoe State one was a little too high. Let's just call it what it was. That was a little too high.
And I was going off of their energy. I'm like, well, shit, if they don't make it, they gonna. But I mean, I was feeling their energy. Like, if this what y'all speaking of.
Yeah, but let me show you what a real list looked like. Let me. Now, this looks like a real list, right? Because
how?
What? First of all, coach problems. Delaware State, and they got coaching problems. Lil Bill and Lee Hall, they ain't them guys. Okay, let's be very clear. They ain't them guys. A fun season is, hey, let's go out there, no expectations. Let's just do what we do. And Norfolk State had a fun season. Close, competitive, but hey, no cigar. You feel me? UAPB, Valley, hey, just go out there and have fun. You know what I'm saying? Just go out there and get a participation trophy. Look how perfect that illogical optimism was. Look at that perfect lineup. A&M, Tahoe State, Prairie View, depending on if you're part of the 12.5 fans or not, illogical, right? Boom. Dark horse candidates, all three of them were dark horse candidates. Now, the only one that I messed up on was Texas Southern. Well, no, not really, because bowl upside if and Andrew Body was hurt. That's my if.
What was Gramblin's issue?
Yeah, I missed on that one. Because Texas Southern was. I missed on that one.
Just say you can admit when you're wrong. You just said it. Just say, hey, you know what? I was wrong.
I was wrong on that one. And then the last, look at perfect three at the top, bowl or bust. You know what I'm saying? FAMU, Howard, and Southern got their coach fired. So I literally missed one out of the whole. Come on, man. That's what I do, man. That's what I do. Because you listen, Tahoe State being in the illogical optimism was just perfect. Oh, just magnifique. Do you hear me? Gotta love it. Did I miss on PV? No. Yes and no, right? Because okay, let me explain this. And I'm answering Coach Greer. He says you missed on PV. Yes and no. The yes is because I didn't think they will go that far. The no is because they thought they were going to win. Like that's the illogical optimism, right? It's like you got mollywop 45-7, and the illogical optimism would say, you know what? We're going to play this team again in the rain at their home, and we're going to win. Illogical. Pure illogical. So, however you want to miss it, it is what it is. So, yes and no. Them 12.5.
I don't think it was too bad on any one of our parts, though. I don't think it was too bad.
I think you had Jackson State a little too high. Way too high. Way.
If there's one, that would be one. And like I say, they were coming off back-to-back years, TC Taylor and all that hype. It was a bust, though. It was a bust.
It was.
It really was a bust.
And it happened early, too. Orange Blossom Classic. Wow. Balloon, gone. So.
They were right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, you know me, I enjoy any time where Tahoe State's like sad balls. No homo. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's talk about little white people. Talk about some green bean casseroles and some FCS football. Quarterfinals happened this weekend. Before we get into that, go Army. We beat Navy. Now, we understand that there was 4 games played, right? Me and P are going to pick one game. We picked a game that we wanted to talk about because I'm going to be honest, the only game that I watched was the Grizz versus the Paladins. That was absolute Furman. That was absolutely amazing game. And P watched them all, but he wants to talk about Villanova and the Jackrabbits. Let me say this, right? When it comes to the Grizz, I want to say this. The quarterback, Clifton McDowell, if you didn't know, he was actually signed to Southern first before he made the transition to go to Montana. And that decision is looking really, really good. I'm going to tell you because people like, I know somebody hit me up and was like, oh, Scotty, you was wrong about Clifton. I wasn't, because he's a run-first guy who can throw.
We Celebration Bowl bound. We get this kid, bro.
I doubt it.
We get this kid.
I don't think so.
Man, listen.
I don't think so.
Yes.
The reason okay, let's blow this up, because if you would have kept Clifton, you wouldn't have used him right. That's
what he was gonna do was what Dooley wanted anyway. Send everybody up the field and then open up the lanes for his running ability.
That's not how Montana uses them. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but regardless of the fact, he was gonna take advantage of that opportunity with all those open run lanes and being the athletic runner that has been Dooley's claim to fame with his quarterbacks.
The thing, if you watch Clifton play enough, he's not a guy that you can sit back and throw it 20 to 30 times. That's just not his thing. And Dooley would have asked him to do that. What Montana asks him to do is throw the ball maybe 17, 18 times at the max. And he wants to keep QB power, you know what I'm saying? That offensive line, get them Bamas moving, unbalanced, handing it off, QB, like it's a lot of that. And I don't think Dooley would have been creative enough to use him in that style of format because that's not his system. I think Montana is using that kid perfectly to his attributes of he's a run-first guy who has an arm that he can throw. He's not the most accurate, but he can throw it when he has the opportunity to. So that's just my
out there running on snow.
He moving too. He moving. Now let me say this: watching the Grizz in the Furman game, I'll say this: it really showed me how bad the SWAC is about not using tight ends. Because Jesus Christ, the Furman, hey, that Bama was like Travis Kelce for them. Hey, they was trying to get that boy the ball every possible opportunity. And the thing to me that it kills me every single time. Now, you might say, Scotty, there's nobody in the SWAC that's like him. And you're probably right. There's no 6'7", 6'8" guy that you split out wide that can go run. But I'll tell you one thing. Jackson State got a Jinsey who's 6'5" and is slender that can do that. You know, you see FAMU every now and again, but they don't even slide him out and stand him up, right? You don't even see that. So to me, it really shows me what I saw in this game is just the different ways, the different formations, 2, the different ways they make matchups happen for their players of like, yo, they cannot stop this kid. Hey, throw the ball to that guy. And you don't see that a lot in the SWAC. In Montana, I just love that they run what they run, right? It's because it's literally like run, pass, run, and they just gonna do what they do very well and control the clock, control the game, play great defense, and then make it happen. But what you got, P?
Well, I'll break this game down because this was an exciting game, Scotty. I'm talking about really exciting. It came down to the last minute of this game in the fourth quarter with Furman getting down the field and finding a way to score. And it is a hostile environment. If you've never seen Montana with the fans, it is a loud place. Matter of fact, it's so loud it'll have you messing up on your snap counts. They really do affect you. But in this ball game, Furman was able to get 15 first down. Both teams struggled on third downs. Furman 4 of 21 on third downs in this game, 2 of 4 on fourth downs, 282 total yards, 188 in the ground, 94 on 188 in the air, 94 on the ground, 1 interception in this ball game for Furman. On the other side for Montana, the Grizz, 17 first downs, 4 of 17 on third downs, 356 total yards of offense, 208 in the air, 148 on the ground, 1 interception. Clifton McDowell, the kid you're talking about, 17 of 31, 208 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But what he was able to do on the ground, 21 carries, 118 yards and a touchdown. Keelan White, 5 receptions, 91 yards and a touchdown. He balled out. And on the other side, Tyler Huff, Furman's quarterback, he struggled in this game, 16 of 47, throwing the ball in this ball game, 188 yards to touchdown and an interception. He also ran 11 carries for 71 yards and a touchdown. But the tight end you talking about, Mason Pline, 9 receptions, 78 yards, 1 touchdown, 6'7". He came down actually with the game time touchdown late in the fourth quarter with probably a couple seconds left in the game. And what was crazy, they actually were going for 2 to win the game. Yeah. And the play completely fell apart. But guess what? They got a false start and it bagged him up. And then Furman realized, let's kick the field goal. Let's go into overtime. And in overtime, Montana's defense, boy, did you see that D-line getting after the quarterback?
No, that boy Tyler Huff was running for his life. And that white boy fast too, by the way. That Tyler Huff he be moving.
Man, look, he had to get out of there. But that D-line, and when you see these teams, bro, you know, all I can, especially, I was watching the North Dakota State game and I was watching these. All I could do is all I could do was admire the offensive line. I was just looking at the O-line like, my God, bro, everything about them was just grown and nasty. They show up with a pail. They show up to work each and every day. And so Montana got that victory, big game at home. They advanced to the semifinals. That was a hell of a game with Montana and Furman.
Let me just say this before we move on to your Villanova game. Furman deserved to lose that game because I don't understand why you punt to that kid. After he takes the kickoff back, I'm not punting to that boy. Like, I'm not doing it. It didn't even make sense to me. I'm like, yo, I'm kicking that hole in the stands, and you better go pick up the ball from a fan because I'm not kicking to you. And the thing about it is, Jay Walker just said it he said, hey, if you give this kid something he can return, he's dangerous. And what will you know? Kid takes it down the sideline for a touchdown. That's 7 points right there that you just gave up. Kid was crazy. He had an amazing day. So, and I'd say this, the one thing when I watch these FCS programs, they make me really open my eyes up to white boys because I'm like, yo, where do you be finding these white boys that can run? And these Bamas can move, okay? I'm like, this white boy is moving right now. So it's fun to see. All right, Pete, what you got on your South Dakota and Villanova?
Oh, you talking about a white boy that can move? I tell you one, because South Dakota State got one at running back. Listen, but Villanova came up short in this ball game, man. A tough day for them even trying to throw the ball. South Dakota State's defense was getting after them. Villanova, 10 first downs in this ball game, 6 of 15 on third down, 219 total yards for them, 74 passing, 145 on the ground. What I liked about this game, though, very low penalties. Villanova with only 2 penalties in this ball game. South Dakota State with only 4. Low turnout when you look at penalties. Very clean game. Villanova with an interception. And that one interception that they quarterback threw, Watkins, I mean, he threw it and the guy was triple cover. It was like, and it was so mad, they kept the camera on the coach for about 45 seconds. I know he said every cuss word he can imagine, wondering why the hell did he do that? Because it was an opportunity in the game that Villanova was still alive, and they blew it and threw it away because they had just forced South Dakota State to punt the ball, which was something that was tough for them. On the other side for the Jackrabbits, 16 first downs, 4 of 12 on third downs, 343 total yards, 101 in the air, 242 on the ground. They also had a fumble as a turnover. Their quarterback for South Dakota State, Mark Gronowski.
Yeah.
You know, they get these names. I was going to call him Gronkowski.
Yeah.
But Mark Gronowski, 11 of 19, only 101 yards passing for a touchdown, but he also had 8 carries for 39 yards. But you talking about where they find these white boys at? Isaiah Davis, number 23. 27 carries, 192 yards and a touchdown. And one of them was so beautiful, man. They turned around, gave it to him, and he found a little seam, and, man, he caught out. He was tough to take down. He was extending drives, put South Dakota State in positions to win this game. And then on the other side for Villanova, their quarterback, Connor Watkins, 6 of 18, 74 yards. The interception, he also had 13 carries for 50 yards. And Jalen Jackson, the wide receiver, 9 carries, 67 yards, and a touchdown. These 2 games for me were the most exciting. The other games were blowouts. In the other games in the FCS quarterfinal, You had North Dakota State take on South Dakota. North Dakota State on the road winning 45-17. And then you had Albany taking on Idaho. Albany getting the victory 30-22. The thing about South Dakota State also in that game, Matthew Durant had a block punt return for a touchdown that was big to switch momentum in that game. And South Dakota State has now won 27 consecutive games, and it's their 4th year in a row that they'll be making it to the semifinals. So now you look at the matchup in the semifinals, it'll be Albany versus South Dakota State and North Dakota State versus Montana. This is going to be some great football. If you want to watch some great football, some interesting calls, and watch these O-line and D-lines. That's the difference makers when you look at these games, the O-line and D-line in these games. But South Dakota State look good. North Dakota State's front, hey, look at their offensive line. And if you want to know how to run the ball, watch North Dakota State. They will ground and pound, but they'll hit you up top too.
Yeah.
But they are a physical team. They are nasty. But that matchup with North Dakota State and Montana, listen, that's going to be one hell of a game. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I think South Dakota State against Albany. Albany is a pretty good team, but I think South Dakota State, if you haven't watched them, they are really good all the way around. This should be a good matchup. But these are the teams that you see every year anyway.
Yeah.
Montana, well, not really Montana, but North Dakota State and a South Dakota. Before James Madison moved on, that was the name you could throw out there, a Sam Houston. But, man, you see these teams, this is much watch football. If you're not doing anything this weekend and just want to watch some FCS football, I recommend it.
Let me ask you this, P. Could two questions. One, my critique is this, right? I went to the FAMU SWAC championship and it was raining. And it's a historic moment because it's the first time FAMU, has a SWAC championship on campus. But it was no participation, right? I mean, it was. I still enjoyed it. So I mean, let me say that. But it wasn't sold out. It wasn't like, oh, must see TV. Now I'm looking at the Montana game in Furman. It damn near starts snowing in the third quarter. It's packed out. I mean, like it's literally packed out in Montana in the cold. My thing is this.
You should have saw the game the week before. It actually did snow. Snow everywhere. You couldn't even see the field and it was packed out.
I don't understand how HBCU people get mad when I say consistently you don't care about football. Like to me, what bothered me the most about what I heard from people from FAMU was like, oh, Scotty, I'm so sorry. The weather wasn't good enough for you to get the full FAMU experience. But I'm saying, like, this is historic. This is a historic moment right here. Like, this is the stuff. This is what you've been waiting for the last 3 years. You've been asking, oh, if it wasn't for Jackson State, we would be right here. And you have it. And because it rains, you don't show up and show out. I don't understand. That just bothers me. My next question is this: do you think there was an HBCU team that any one of those games would have been competitive?
Against who?
The quarterfinals. Anybody in the quarterfinals?
Any HBCU team?
Yeah, well, the top guys. I mean, taking out NCCU because they already lost in the playoffs, but a Howard, a FAM.
Hell no, man. Hell no. When you get to that quarterfinal or semifinal, that's a whole night and day difference. You get your ass whooped. What they say, you fuck around and find out? You will fuck around and find out fooling with them teams, bruh. When you find out just how deep they are within the trenches, the depth that they have, and just the trench play. See, we get caught up in the SWAC on the skill position play. We talk about the quarterbacks. We talk about the running backs. We talk about the wide receivers. Oh, we just love to did you see that wide receiver? Them cats right there focus on that O-line and D-line and work their way out. No way, nobody, no HBCU team, none, nada, could go do anything in that quarterfinal, nor with this semifinal. Not at all. Hell no. That's a whole nother animal when you start to get like this. I mean, just look at Richmond against who we thought our best HBCU football team all season was, right? Yeah. And I think you start to see this in every level, right? Winston-Salem a couple years ago, some years back, Division II was able to make it to a national championship, right?
Manor.
Yeah. Bowie State has some great teams with what was the quarterback on that team? Was it
Tahir Hall, Taj, some
yeah. They made it, but you find out that's a different type of game, which Shennis Berry found out against Lenore Rock, right? Which you saw Trey Oliver in North Carolina Central find that out against Richmond. Even years back when I look at North Carolina A&T with Tariq Cohen, they went and played Richmond. You find that there's a different type of game when you get into that playoff, man. And to get deep into that playoff, you have to be creative as a coach. You can't come with that same bullshit you've been trying to pull on these teams all season by just getting by and not making adjustments. You really have to coach because these coaches going to adjust and whoop your ass with the X's and O's because they're looking at the matchups.
Yeah.
They're not trying to force feed. They're going to take what they can get, and then they're going to make the best out of it. And if it's slow, painful, and ugly, they will take it. They're not here for all the ooh and ah. They're here just to get a dub because they're trying to play to get to the championship. And I don't believe there's no SWAC team, nor MEAC team, nor HBCU team that is out there that is built to be able to go against these type of teams that we're seeing in the quarterfinals headed into the semifinals.
Man, I'd have loved to see some matchups though. I ain't gonna lie.
Who you want to see?
I would have loved to see like a Howard versus Furman or a FAMU versus Villanova.
Did South Carolina State and Furman play this year?
I don't think so. Let me check the schedule. I
think South Carolina State and Furman did play this year. If I'm not mistaken.
Let me see. Boom. Nope.
They did not?
Nah, to the Citadel.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, Charlotte. They played Charlotte and the Citadel.
Yeah.
Tennessee Tech. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and even Tennessee State in the Ohio Valley. So let's just take it. Tennessee State is in the Ohio Valley Conference, Big South Conference, right?
Yeah.
Then you got the other cousins, Hampton and A&T, that are in the CAA. You see how tough it is for them just out of those two conferences, right?
Yeah.
Then you trying to talk about go over here fucking with these folks, Scotty? Listen, it's a different animal. Now, I would love to see FAMU moving forward play some other FCS schools outside of the SWAC or the MEAC. That's one of the matchups I really want to see because I think what Willie Simmons has going on there, he can go play a Kennesaw State, a North Alabama, those type of teams,
Mercer,
Chattanooga.
Yeah.
I want to see that those type of matchups, but no, not what we saw in that quarterfinal. Just when you watch those games, people just watch the trench play. When I watch those games, that's all I'm looking at, the trench play. That is the separation when you look at those games.
Yeah, I mean they got a good matchup next year with Troy. I'm excited to see what they look like against Troy.
That's a throwback. They actually played Troy years ago when Troy was at that time 1AA. They played Troy in the 1AA playoffs years ago on the road.
So yeah, they got Troy this year. I think they got Miami as well, if I'm not mistaken, on their schedule this year. So I mean, losing your senior quarterback, going into a tougher schedule this year is not where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? But you'll definitely see them step up their competition level with Troy getting playing time.
What do you like best about this before we move on? What do you like because we're all in the FCS world, and I know typically when we talk about HBCUs, our SWAC and MEAC fans don't really look outside of the HBCU world. That's why they don't pay attention to what Tennessee State is doing. That's why they lost track of what Hampton and North Carolina A&T. But what seems to be the greatest difference, and what do you like most when you look at these FCS powers, and then you look at who we are in the same realm of FCS football?
Adjustments.
Yeah.
Adjustments. Like seeing, like for me, and I'm gonna talk about the Furman game. Like seeing Furman start doing more QB powers, right? Like they started doing QB runs. That's when Tyler Huff got off on that long 60, 70-yard run. But really finding the matchup and really working it as best they could, because they said, listen, we're gonna go down with our best player in this game, which is the tight end. And they did 4 consecutive plays to the tight end. And you would see it, you would see it in the SWAC. We saw it with Hugh Jackson. Chalk gets you to the 1. How does Chalk not touch the ball 4 times inside the 1? it's logically, it doesn't make sense to me, right? He's your best player. I'm a live and die with my best player. And that's what Tyler Huff and the Furmans did. Listen, we gonna live and die with Mr. 6'7". He's our biggest matchup. They got nothing for him. This is what happens when you have a great matchup. You dictate the defense. They're either going to double team him and leave somebody one-on-one, or they're going to leave him one-on-one and we're going to take the opportunity. And I think my guy's better than your guy. And then you have a tie ball game. And that's what I don't see in the SWAC very often, of finding the mismatch, working the mismatch, and making the team have to adjust to what you found that works. And I'm going to continue to do it. That's the thing that I have. And then also just the multiple formations. The SWAC, and a lot of this is outside of Willie. Like, Willie to me is on another level, but just in the SWAC in general, I see the same 3x1, 2x2. And I'm just like, man, what are we doing? I'm like, can I get an unbalanced line? Can I get two tight ends on the Jackson did a couple things here and there.
Our coaches get away from shit that be working. They be like, it worked. Why did you? And then you won't see it no more.
You don't see it no more. Won't see it no more. So it's that to me, like, and I agree with you. I think those white coaches up in there be like, listen, man, it ain't gotta be cute. It ain't gotta be cute. But at the end of the day, it's going to get me a dub. It's going to be productive. It's going to get me to where I am, and I know it's going to work. It's like I said, like Novocaine, give it time, it always works, right? So it is what it is.
And that's why I say, man, you know, I was talking all that about Southern. Man, imagine you get one of them white coaches, he come to the SWAC and look around at this shit and be like, bro, is this what this is? Is this what this is? Because I can adjust to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and if we're being honest, the quarterbacks ain't that special.
They're not.
They're really not that special. So
Tyler Huff was nothing special about him, except when it's time for him to use his leg, and
that little white boy can giddy up.
They can giddy up. I mean, because 16 of 47 is horrible, but the plays that he was able to make were magical.
Yeah.
They still put him back in position where the game didn't get away from him, even though it was that bad. And even being 16 of 47, it was only one turnover in the ball game. You will see 16 for 47 in the SWAC with 3 interceptions.
Facts.
Those turnovers are the key. Both of these games, when we talk about South Dakota State and Villanova, it was 2 turnovers in the whole game, both by both teams. In this game, Furman and Montana, it was 2 turnovers in the game, both by both teams. And guess what? They both had low penalties. It was just a hell of a game going back and forward. Mm-hmm. It was football. It wasn't the penalties. It wasn't the turnovers. It was just chess match back and forward. And that's what you saw. Oh, coach make an adjustment here. Okay, I'll counter that. Coach make an adjustment. Oh, I'll counter. And it was good to watch them counter each other.
Yeah.
And if you like football and you love football the way we do, and you actually watching this, when you watch coaches counter, it's like watching great chess. For the average person, you can't sit there and watch chess because you don't know what the hell going on. You just wait to hear somebody say checkmate because that just sound what you know. But when you watch somebody counter you, man, it turns into something great when you watch it because you actually see them making adjustments and studying what's going on. And okay, now I see what they took away from us. Now let me see what can I create. And like you said, that's what you saw with Mason Plum. Man, that tight end, that last play for the touchdown in late in the fourth, that was just a lob up. It wasn't a direct pass. It was just
like, hey, my guy better than your guy. My guy better than your guy. Go make me a play. He went up there and got. And now my thing is, why is he single covered with a guy who look like he's 6'1"? So yeah, I get it, man. Let's move on. All right, before we get to the big matchup, Band of the Year. The final 4 bands. You know, NCAT will say, hey, we're back in Atlanta again. That's what NCAT would tell you. We're back in Atlanta. Can't get rid of us. We're like roaches. We don't die, right?
Can you put a poll? Can we set up a poll? Ask the people who they think. Did these bands, was these the right bands? I don't know. Do it for who gonna win? Who was these the right bands? I don't know.
All right. I'm gonna do who will win since they already picked them. I don't think anybody cares about the D2 band, so I'm gonna just go with NCAT.
Somebody care about
Well, I only could do one question.
him.
All right. I just started it. All right. Listen, I'm gonna be blunt with you. You know me, I ain't a band guy, so I don't get two shits. Florida Memorial and Virginia State, I don't really care. NCAT, Jackson State. My thing, listen, I'm gonna take this in a whole different direction. I want to know how. How did you come up with this? Because to me, and I think Mr. DeGratier said it, he's one of my subscribers. All this is to me is ESPN trying to say, "Oh, how can I keep black people watching ESPN longer?" That's really to me what this is all about. Or how can I get black people to tune in to whatever I got going on because ESPN is on the downturn. We need more viewership. We need more eyes, and we're going to add Band of the Year because we know black people like the band. That's really what this gets to me because I don't understand it. I really don't. But Perry, you're the band guy. To me, if a band battle don't have Southern in it, I really can't. I don't want, because you know that.
Thank you.
I just don't. It don't make sense to me.
I had this conversation because I had John Grant, who's the executive director of the Celebration Bowl, as well as the MEAC Swag Challenge on the Jaguar Journal this past week. And I had this conversation because I asked, how the hell do you not have Southern when you talk about best bands? But what he said was they have a committee of former band directors that I guess whatever the media teams and bands submit of their halftime performances throughout the year, that they grade these on these different scales, not in a room together. Everybody grades these bands from what they watch on their own scale, and then everybody submits it, and then the overall grade is compiled once they do that. And he said, you know, Southern got hurt in October. Southern was number 1 on the list, then dropped to number 7, and then everybody else climbed back up. Southern ended the season in this poll at number 3, but I just looked at the fact that who's seeing more bands throughout the year than Southern, right? Southern each and every week, unlike the rest of these chumps on here, you got to do a new field show each and every week because the people won't say, well, you did that last week or that's old. You know, so I just think the creativity, and for me, I've seen every band on this list except Virginia State in person. And maybe I saw Virginia State in person. I've seen every band on this list. And I've seen a lot of bands, and I love bands. I love that aspect and culture, but not one of these bands on here is better than Southern. Now, I know the people with the Jackson State, if you're going to say 2 of the better bands, it will be Southern versus Jackson State. That's going to sell every time. I don't give a damn where you put it. But North Carolina A&T, they've been fucking with them white folks all year, and then you going to sit here and tell me they the best band? Come on, man. I really wasn't feeling it, but it is what it is.
I'll say this. You guys lost the battle of the bands against Jackson State. That was just.
But this is a field show.
No. Let me. I'm just telling you.
Okay,
you know?
talk to me.
I'm just telling you. Like from when I watched it on YouTube, and you know I cannot stand Jackson State's band, but you guys got worked. Now I don't know if that's involved in any of the process, but I will tell you this: Jackson State worked you in that battle of the bands. That the songs y'all picked, how it was
I just don't see how A&T, regardless of the fact, stood out over Southern.
Yeah, now that part to me, I don't even think they don't even probably go against enough bands to get enough. Like, ain't nobody in the CAA really bringing a band, so that don't make no type of sense to me when it comes to that.
I thought if you was gonna do 2 of the best black college bands on that level, it had to be Southern and Jackson. That sells every time they get together. That are the two bands that everybody loves to see. Everybody loves to see them go back and forth. I don't understand with A&T, what the hell did they do so special that just had everybody so mesmerized and so in love? Like, yes, this is the best band right now in the country. I don't know.
You know, listen, I think to not make it JSU and Southern is the integrity of it, because I think that's the easy cop out. Right, that's an easy cop out.
Well, it ain't. It's like the college football playoffs then. I cannot look at it
Good.
with real expectations, and we're going to have to play it political. We all know if it's going to be two of the best bands, it's Southern, it's Jackson State. I'm not knocking A&T.
That's fair.
I've been to plenty of Battle of the Bands, and I've seen all these black college bands, right? They're all good for an audience, respectfully. But if you're going to say the two best bands, hands down, it's Southern and Jackson every time.
That's fair.
But if you're gonna be political, just say, well, just because let's make it fair, right? Let's just say, hey, let's make it fair. A&T is not better than Southern's band.
I can't. I can't. I mean, like, just me personally, I probably would say yes, but I haven't watched A&T's band enough to be like.
That's my point.
I ain't gonna lie to you, but you know what band that be really like the band that be really like low key rocking? NCCU band low key. It be rocking. It do its thing. Now the girls they got with the flag.
And this thing is based off field shows, so I get it. But you know, when you talk about drilling and field shows, and you know,
I thought it was based off a whole bunch of categories. Because if it's based off field shows, I mean, fam, you would be a lot higher than what
in the field shows. You're gonna have auxiliary. You're gonna have drum majors. You're gonna have percussion. You're gonna have drill designs, dance routine. You know, they're going to judge you off these things because think about it. Southern don't really have auxiliary, so that's going to hurt us. We don't have flags and majorettes and all that other stuff, right? You got one drum major and the rest is band.
How many drum majors does A&T got?
Shit, I don't know. I think they got more than one.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying. The X at A&T is good, but man, they ain't not better than Southern. Don't nobody come on here line thinking A&T band better than Southern. I don't want to hear that at all. Don't even remotely fix your mouth when it comes to that. A&T band better. Who is A&T seen this year? With that white ass schedule going 1-10. What was it? 1 and what?
Norfolk. They say Norfolk got a good band. They said Norfolk got a real good band.
Norfolk does have a good band. To say A&T better than them, and they battled each other this year. Was that the only band they saw?
I mean, they got to see Hampton.
I don't even think those two bands saw each other. No. That's a hell of a long way to travel from.
Hey, well, you know, NCCU and North Carolina A&T, they saw each other. You know, that's
two battles. You gave me North Carolina Central for them, and who else? Norfolk.
Hampton, NCCU, and Norfolk.
I don't think they battled Hampton. They didn't see Hampton.
No, I mean, listen, man, I don't care. Okay.
I know you don't care, but it's a conversation, man. And I just feel like that's a slap in the face to be political. That's like taking Florida State out of the playoffs. You just want to be like that. If you're going to take Southern out, and you can't talk best bands, and you're going to say Southern not in there. Come on, bro. And I don't give a damn how bad of a year people think Southern had. A bad year for Southern is a great year for plenty.
Oh, man. Yeah, you know what he said? Us at 70% is your 100. You know,
come on, man. People go on YouTube to watch Southern for a reason. That's why you don't be going on. Them other bands don't be getting views like that. That's why Southern get critiqued so much. Everybody wants to try to find a flaw to talk about them, and I get it.
From what I heard from some band heads, because you know I don't know none of these words and what they mean. They said your arrangements were just not the same as usually, as your usual, like your arrangements. I don't know what that means.
Still better than them other bands is what I'm saying. It's Southern and Jackson State, and I'll leave it at that. Regardless of whatever they talking about arrangements, well, you go write a song in. Shit, you go get a band and pull up the A.W. Mumford Stadium and set that band across from us, and let's hear it then.
Oh, man. I'm just telling you what people told me, because I'll tell you that.
The thing about it, everybody love to find something to flaw. I mean, if Southern always got the target, I mean, I'm always going to have to be in a position to defend whether it's football, basketball. I mean, because we talk so much shit at Southern, it's expected when we begin to get attacked because we do the attacking as well. So it's part of the game, and I understand it. But
I tell you what band you will never see at Atlanta, FAMU, unless the team go.
I don't know. I don't think. Hey, fam, you were sneaking in too. If they'll let A&T go, shit, they'll let anybody go. You let a school from a white conference who has not seen anybody all year get there. So
I bet not never see FAMU unless they drag them behind their football team. I bet not ever see FAMU in the Battle of the Bands. I bet not ever. I wish they would put Atlanta A&T into the band. I would be hot.
and I don't give a damn who don't like it. I love bands. I'm in this HBCU space. This HBCU space, it comes with it. Football and band, you know, it is what it is. If you don't like it, then that's why your asses ain't coming to the game.
This man says swag bands lack musicality.
That's what I'm saying. Folks just be saying shit.
I think the best song that I've heard Southern band play is that Snooze by Summer Walker.
Yeah. Who played?
Y'all did. That's the best.
You like Southern version?
Ooh, the way y'all played that. Oh, that was fire. That was absolutely fire. But everything else,
and band, listen. To be honest, it ain't even no real way to judge band because everybody like their own thing, you know.
Oh, SZA, my bad.
Yeah, everybody got their own thing. It ain't even no real way to judge a band. You know, they be like, I like band. I like loud. Okay, so that's my preference. Everybody don't like loud, right? I like when you play something, everybody turn their head like, damn, that's what I like. You got everybody attention. Plus, all those Southern is loud, regardless if they don't like the arrangements or not. Those arrangements still better than most of the bands that folks listen to. Because let me tell you, most folks can't sit on YouTube and just listen to two bands battling because you're going to turn that shit out because you ain't going to like what you hear.
Listen, I'm not, it's not too many times. Like, listen, the one thing about Jackson's band is, and I'll say this, the one thing about Jackson's band that I feel like they skip over parts in the song. Like they skip over certain beats. Like I can't explain it. It just didn't look like the one thing I like about Southern is that Southern's like the break dancer. Like they're like the Jabberwockies, right? Like when you watch the Jabberwockies dance, they hit every beat. Like you know, they catch every beat. And Jackson is like the guys that be popping and locking on the cardboard. Like
Jackson got the drums, they got the percussion section, they got the drum majors that everybody like to watch, right? Famu and Bethune-Cookman and the rest of the MEAC bands will sing your ass to death and dance your ass. They like this little rock right here. They'll do that the whole game. They'll sing a whole quarter on you. And like I say, it's for you. It's whatever you like. And I get it. And I respect what people like. I like what I like. But come on, man, y'all ain't watching them other schools like that. You ain't watching them other schools.
Yeah, I think Jackson's the definition of just loud. But I will have to say this: when I watched the Battle of the Bands, yeah, they was hitting some notes I don't normally hear Jackson State hit. Like they were hitting some in between notes. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
And think about this: people don't even think we had a game the day before against Prairie View, which Prairie View band came here. Jackson didn't have no game. They had all week and the day before to do whatever they needed. You had a game against Prairie View and then did against Jackson State the next day. Tell me that ain't badass for a band to hold this weight against Prairie View and Jackson.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And I like Bethune-Cookman. Can I admit something on here?
Yeah.
I like Bethune-Cookman field shows, even though they fucked up at the Florida Classic. Did anybody see that? But I like
they messed up
bad. They messed up bad. But I like Bethune-Cookman field shows. I like their drum majors, and it's just something. They look crisp. They look real. But everybody else, man, I can't really sit down and watch.
Now let me ask you this, because you said people do a lot of singing. Now, is this not y'all?
Yeah. Play that. Oh, you actually like this song. I know. Hey, made me grab my drink.
WLS.edu/Ultra for more information.
Hey, y'all better screenshot this. Go ahead and snip it right now.
Because you know why? That was Ed Jackson.
Hey, make sure you screenshot it, because you might not see it again. All right, so just go ahead and do that. You might not see it again.
Tell me how that don't make you feel good, though. You at the game, man, and you feeling yourself, you having a good time, man. Look, but that ain't the singing I'm talking about. You know that damn Famu Bethune-Cookman singing I be talking about.
What they be doing?
Huh?
They do. What's that? How they do that? What
you at the damn game last week?
Yeah, what were they singing?
You ain't hear no Famu singing?
What they sing?
Man, pull up. Goddamn. What's the name of that? They're singing the whole damn quarter. It's the Let's Go. That rattler shit. They sing that the whole game.
Oh, come on, man. That don't count,
that don't make
bro.
you feel good, though.
It does not count, bro. Come on, bro. Really?
They'll play the whole game.
That doesn't count, bro. Like that's like if crowd engagement. That don't count. That don't count.
Crowd engagement.
So, okay, what's the difference between all gonna go ooh 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 ooh? It's no different.
That's a fight song that they saying and cut off.
In Tallahassee, they use the little strugglers go. It's the same. It's their version of a tomahawk.
Oh, you picked. Okay, go ahead. Take up for your school. I see.
No, I'm just saying.
No, take up for your school.
That don't make sense.
Take up for your school, brother.
Don't make nah. I can't give you that one. If you
gonna take up for your school.
That just don't make sense. I'm just saying it just don't make sense. I'm saying like what's the difference between Florida State doing the chop?
No, don't you dare.
No, I'm just saying what's the difference?
Bring him into this conversation.
No, I'm just saying what's the difference? What's the difference between the swamp going like this? What's the difference?
What are we talking about?
I'm talking about fan engagement with the music.
I'm talking about just singing.
It's their version of a crowd engagement. It's no different than when the band at Florida goes, duh,
I'm simply saying
no
I don't
different.
like it, is what I'm saying. I don't like it personally, me.
I know you're not talking. You in Arkansas, they go, ooh, yes, ooh. What
that ain't no band shit. That's a cheer. That's a cheer without a band.
It's the same thing, but FAMU's version.
Man, move on, man. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I ain't gonna let you slide with that one.
Now you just throwing anything and hoping it stick. It don't make. I'm just simply saying I don't like them singing ass bands like FAMU and the rest of them. I just don't like that. That's me personally, though.
You can't use that as an example of singing. Give me something else for singing. That's what I'm saying. Give me something else.
Let's just move on. This ain't even worth it.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah, thank you, Miss. It's crowd engagement. It has nothing to do with singing. It's just crowd engagement.
That's a FAMU person, man. Come on, I see that damn F on the hat. Come on, next. You gonna put that there and try to make that? Come on.
Oh man. Well, okay, yeah. What about baby? Let that. Y'all do it. It is
not, you don't understand what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, let's just move on.
No, explain, because to me, the only time y'all do anything, if we're being honest, and I've been to a Southern game, so miss me. The only fan engagement is when you score. It's when you score. Hey,
that's not what we're talking about here. You study all I said is I don't like.
But the band is playing it. That's what I'm saying. The band plays it and gets people involved into it. Is that what I'm
saying here? No, there's a difference between the SWAC and the MEAC. FAMU, although they are in the SWAC and Bethune-Cookman, they still have that MEAC to them. And that's the people that understand what I'm talking about. You're not getting what I'm talking about. You're not
explaining it very well.
I don't even know how to tell you. It's just a difference between MEAC and SWAC bands. There's a whole totally different style. Those bands, they not like the SWAC.
How explain to me what you're talking about.
I just would like to rather move on. I mean, we can find another day.
I would like to understand because you're supposed to be the band guy. So help the non-band guy understand what you're saying. Because what I see if we're being honest, I see a crowd that has the best fan engagement than the rest of you chumps. That's what I see. So make it make sense to me. That's all I'm asking.
Let's talk about the Celebration Bowl. I don't want to talk about band with you because you're not going to understand. We just going to keep going back and forth.
I'm trying to understand.
I pick and choose my battles wisely.
I'm trying to understand.
You're not going to understand. You're going to have your mind made up to automatically.
If I'm telling you I'm trying to understand, how do I have my mind made up?
How many MEAC games have you went to the Howard? How many MEAC games have
I've been to the Howard, I've been to South Carolina State, and I've been to NCCU. The NCCU Howard, the South Carolina State game against FAMU, and then I went to, I mean, if you want to call MEAC, FAMU, MEAC, but I've been to a FAMU game. So go ahead.
The MEAC is like listening to the kids' bop version of the song, more so than in the SWAC is like listening to the real radio version.
I agree.
That's how I can put it. I mean, I don't know no other way. It's not gonna be that aggressive, you know. It ain't gonna really just make you feel it and get up. It's just like, oh, okay, I'm just happy to be here supporting the team. Hey, because you see the difference when you go to a SWAC game and you realize how the band really changes the dynamic of the game, right? Don't the band change the dynamic of the game?
Okay, yes, but the thing that I have a problem with SWAC fans and SWAC bands is the only time the crowd is engaged is because of the band. That is my issue.
I'm not talking about sitting. That's why I'm telling you why I want to pull back, because you keep going to crowd engagement. I'm not talking about the crowd engagement at all. I'm just simply talking about the band.
I agree with you on the style of play of like it's literally Atlanta A&T and Morris Brown.
That's all I'm on. That's all I'm speaking on.
That's not how you what I'm saying is that's not how you started the conversation.
I said I don't like them singing ass bands. It's how I started the conversation.
But
and then you pulled up
well. That's the thing. You're not making any sense. Like, if you're talking about
this is why I'd rather move on, because you see, I told you not gonna get it, bro. You're not gonna get it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me, because if you're talking about singing bands and you use this is where you messed up. The example you used was the let's go aspect, and to me, it's no different than JSU shaking their pom-poms to get ready. It's no different than Southern playing neck and their pom-poms going. It's just FAMU's version. That's the part where I disagree, but I agree with you on the style of play, because I didn't know it not near song FAMU played all game. It was just a sound. I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying it don't make sense. I just don't make sense to me. Exactly my point. They sing neck. I don't get it.
Let's just move on.
I'm just saying. You move the goalposts.
I didn't say let's go. Like
I'm saying you move the goalpost.
But you can't let it go.
No, because you move the goalpost. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, okay.
Hey.
Okay. Let's get it.
Our administration, our students, we brag different. You guys don't follow social media probably as far as getting in chat boards and all that stuff. But our people talk big talk, all right? Because they know we can back it up. We can back it up in the classroom, we can back it up socially, and we're gonna back it up on the football field.
He got a headlight out.
A long time coming.
See, Perry, call it what, that's singing, that's musicality, and that's whatever you want to call it. That's what that was. But I will tell you what we do know. We told you that your football team wasn't going to be in that damn dome on Saturday, and clearly your band ain't going to be in that dome on Friday. So that's what we do know. That is the one thing we do know. So no matter what. So you can talk about all this band stuff and everything. I actually do understand what you're talking about. But anybody that is from the SWAC knows that Southern got all that brass and plays loud. That is y'all. You said it. You said that's y'all claim to fame. So everybody in the SWAC knows that and everything. The difference between the boom and the jukebox, y'all play loud, Jack State plays loud, and we actually know what they're playing. There's the difference for a lot of people. See, so I'm just saying. But Southern, listen, hold on, but wait a minute. But I'm going to give you credit. I will agree with you that Southern definitely should have been in that band battle. I agree with that. I have seen A&T. I think they have a great band. They do. I don't believe FAMU should have been in there. I think FAMU still is getting used to the SWAC movement and everything. But for the money and for the talk, Southern and Jack State in that band battle would have been all hell would have broke loose in Atlanta. I totally agree with you. So how about that?
Listen, I'm gonna have to completely disagree with you on you don't know what they're playing because it's not a time I've heard Southern not play something that I did not know. I mean, I'm just saying that one. I'm
just telling you. Well, see, Scott, I just think. Listen, Southern. What people know, and this is what I'm saying. Southern has a lot of brass. So when them boys go high, it starts to screech. That's what it's up. But they play loud. Southern is a great band. So I'm not going to tell you. So Perry's right. Now, Perry is 100%. Southern's band is right up there. Jack State's band is right up there. They always been there. But I do want to make two quick points, Perry, so you can understand what they did judging on. It was drill, marching, and maneuvering. It was percussion, musicality, drum majors, and auxiliaries. Those were the things that they were ranked on, okay? So through the year, apparently you guys suffered in a few things because you guys were number one for a while. So I don't know what happened at the end of the year. You guys got tired out or stuff like that, but that's what happened. But that's what they judged them on. So it wasn't just like, let's hear people play and see what we like them or not. They had specific things that they looked at and that they judged. Because FAMU, we got who we don't have. Well, we have flags. But again, I know we got penalized for not having dance teams.
I think that's kind of like, I think you should just take, I'm not a band guy. So to me, if everybody doesn't have it, why is it?
I agree.
Auxiliaries out. Everybody doesn't have it. Yeah.
But they got to judge it because that's the money. I mean, the dancing dolls and Jay says that's money. You know what I mean? And people are going to talk about it.
I'm not saying you because they come with the band. So I mean, right. They shouldn't be a part of the point system. Because why am I going to judge a band like FAM that doesn't have dancers, and then I got a team?
Well, they say auxiliary, so that would be our flag corps. You see what I'm saying? But the flag corps is never going to get. I mean, just mentally, you're going to give a dance because our flag corps is auxiliary. So that's the thing about it. We have auxiliary. We have a flag corps, a military corps style band. So there you go.
But at the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense because you're going to either hinder a team with points based off that, or you're going to give a team more points.
Well, that's my opinion. Now, I want to be clear. That's my opinion. I just think because I know human nature, that's what people do. That's my thing. I just think people are not excited about seeing a flag corps. That's just me personally.
Southern not being in there is like Florida State not being in the college football playoff. Simple as that.
All right. So, yeah. So, Scotty, listen. Let's
give it to you if Alabama. If Alabama would have been left out, I would kind of gave it to you. But Florida State, I'm like, but go ahead, Mr. Gamble.
So, Scotty, first of all, check your phone real quick because I sent you two things. But I need you to look at that graphic because I do want to lighten the mood before we get in talking about the game. And I need you to put that graphic up. So, Perry, you got it? So, Perry, listen. We'll talk about this next week, but it's Christmas time. So, I went to a couple of Christmas parties. You know what I mean? I even went to a Christmas party with Santa Claus. Santa actually went to FAMU. So I went to a nice Christmas party. But what I did find for the Primates, because, the Primates have had a rough time about it. So for me, because, FAMU folks make money. So, Scotty, show the Primates what we're going to get them. We got still JSU hoodies for $19.99. And for you Primates, because y'all love Jackson State so much, because y'all still love Jackson, I'm going to buy y'all some Prime hoodies. And for $19.99, I could probably buy a good 100 of those with no problem. So for all you Primates, You know what I mean? They said y'all was still down. I got your hoodies for $19.99. So Primettes, hit Scott on the text line. We get you a little Primette hoodie and stuff like that. Show your support and everything. So I just wanted to put that out there and everything. But I mean, for $19.99, bro, that's a good deal. Don't you think, Scotty?
What's that, like 75% off?
Man, listen, $19.99, bro. Listen, for the Primettes, because you know the Primettes can't afford. Listen, because you know them damn Primettes can't afford that Colorado stuff. You know damn well they can't fry them $75 hoodies in Colorado. So see, they can still rock that Prime, boy. They still can rock that Prime. So I'm just, and it's gonna support Jackson State, since you know they say Jackson State ain't got no money. So go ahead and support Jackson State. You know what I mean? So we got them $19.99 hoodies and things like that. So I just wanted to, put that out there, because the Prime mess, they hurting. Colorado was 4-8. When Prime was at Jackson, they was winning. But okay. But that's all.
I might get me one of those. You might
get one of those. I mean, I'm just telling you, we should do a giveaway. We should do with all them Prime. Well, you know what? I want. You know what we should do is a giveaway for them Primes that said that Colorado was going to go 8-4, 9-3, 10-2. We should just have them come on.
I like hoodies, and for $20, you can't beat a hoodie for $20. Like,
hey man, listen. Them hoodies are the ones that's supposed to be, like when the people don't win the Super Bowl and they go over to Africa. That's when them hoodies are supposed to be. But hey, I ain't mad at Jackson. Get that money, man. Get that money. Some old folks might buy that.
It's not bad. All right, let's get straight. Celebration Bowl, December 16th. Got a few questions, guys. Breaking down this game, and the first one is this. Culturally, I hope I spelled that right. I don't think I did. But anyway, culturally, what will it be? And what I mean by that is just like, I know I've heard the Bougie Bowl, I've heard, Black Hollywood, I've heard a lot of versions of what it could be. But culturally, what do you think you'll see at the Celebration Bowl?
Perry, you go first.
Go ahead. Now you go. You gonna be there.
Well, the only reason why I wanted you to go because I'm going to talk a little bit longer. But here's the thing. Here's what's going to happen for TV visual. Because what's going to happen is this has got a lot of filler. Because both of these schools have historic and very prominent alumni, especially Howard. So they're going to be talking about Kamala Harris, Thurgood Marshall, Anthony Anderson, Chadwick Boseman, Phyllis Rashad, all these people, Toni Morrison, all these different people. And again, fam, you got all these different people and stuff like that. So that's the thing about it. You got a lot just for the casual fan that's going to cut this game on. They're going to see a lot of named people that have attended these universities. They're going to know, like, oh, I didn't know this person went to FAMU. Oh, I didn't know this person went to Howard. So that's the thing. So that's the first part from the star power. Now, for the academic thing, for the academic heads, Howard, hey, that's the Black Ivy. When you say Howard, you're going to a top academic institution. FAMU is the #1 HBCU. FAMU graduates the most black graduates. So that's where the bougie part comes in at, because Howard and FAMU have people that are C-suite executives, CEOs. FAMU got the director of the board at Microsoft. We got the CEO over there at Converse. We got the president at ABC News, on and on and on. We have very high-powered people that are in these C-suites. So those are the things. Now, the thing that was supposed to be, and I'm on because I got in trouble at Twitter because people kind of went the wrong way. This was supposed to be a big old party weekend. Because if Puffy hadn't been in all this trouble that he's in, Puffy would have took the whole city over. And Atlanta would have been on fire. Because Puffy would have had a party, 3 or 4 parties each and every day with AG Entertainment. And that thing would have been nuts. So you would have had Puffy bringing in all his celebs. It would have been a party. Matter of fact, it would have been a party that night with Puffy. But of course, he got his problems. So none of that. So I don't see as many big parties that I thought would have been like a Super Bowl or All-Star weekend in Atlanta. But Puffy brings that type of energy and stuff like that. So there are parties, but not as big, star-studded parties I thought they were going to have. So from a cultural standpoint, that's what I think. From a TV visual, you have those names that people are going to recognize and people are going to know and be very impressed with the alumni from both of these schools.
Barry, what you got culturally? What will it be at the Celebration Bowl?
You're going to see FAMU fans and not a lot of Howard fans. You're gonna see... Shit. I've been to the Celebration Bowl. I've seen how when MEAC teams show up and don't really be there. I saw North Carolina A&T. I saw North Carolina Central. You saw the difference in the SWAC, and then you saw a lot more SWAC fans there, whether it was their school or not, just in the building supporting. Culturally, you're going to see the difference between the MEAC and the SWAC like you see each and every year. You see the MEAC is a little bit more, hey, yes, I am of the, Howard, and yes, yes, tea after the game. They drink tea at a damn tailgate, right? Then you're going to see the SWAC a little bit different, but I really don't even know how to gauge FAMU too much because FAMU to me is still MEAC-ish. They won the SWAC, but FAMU still give me MEAC vibes. Like, they don't give me true SWAC vibes. They give me the best of the MEAC, and that's still MEAC-ish to me. So to me, this is a MEAC championship if I look at it between two MEAC schools. But I think culturally you will see the FAMU and the SWAC side stand up and represent. But I don't think you're gonna quite see it from Howard. Even with Howard, all those alums, they don't give a damn about Howard football. You can name me all these people that's a part of this and that. Jay Walker gonna be the happiest person in that damn arena come Saturday.
My question, since you said it's MEAC versus MEAC, does that really, to me, that puts it even a bigger slight on SWAC football of how inferior it is that you can have a program like FAMU from the MEAC come over, and if not for Dion, they're literally 3-time SWAC champs probably. So is that a statement to how good MEAC football is and SWAC football is not? Or
yeah, I mean, look at all the celebration bowls. I mean, it's just the matchups are typically ugly in that MEAC SWAC challenge, especially early on. You got some ugly matchups, but when you look at the Celebration Bowl, there was some good Alcorn State teams that went and played A&T. Couldn't do nothing with them, right? Grambling was the only one able to get it. And then the next year, you saw what A&T did with Grambling. Alcorn went back 2 straight years, and you saw what A&T did to them. It does show the difference, and it is a testament of the difference between the MEAC and the SWAC. The MEAC, and that's why I say, FAMU still giving me MEAC-ish vibes because they ain't really switched over anything from what they got going from when they came over from the MEAC. And they still give you that MEAC vibe in terms of how teams in the MEAC are built. FAMU is just built a little bit better with the skill position players that you'll see coming over into the SWAC that you don't quite see across the place in the MEAC. But yeah, I mean, the MEAC has just simply been the better conference when it has come for playing for championships. Look at Deion Sanders' team last year. Obviously, they were the most talented on paper, but North Carolina Central smacked them in the mouth every chance they could, right? So, yeah, it is a testament. Let's be real. Let's not sugarcoat this and lie about it at all.
Well, here's my problem. And people talk about the records of the MEAC versus SWAC. Honestly, Central was the better team, if not Central. A&T was the better team the 4 times they won. Alcorn was not on the same. Central A&T, I'm keep saying that. North Carolina A&T had all-time great teams. They were supposed to win those games. That Grambling second game, Grambling should have won that game. That game, I was at both. I've been in all celebration ball, but I was embedded with Grambling. Grambling should have went back to back. Jackson State let the SWAC. What happened was Jackson State let the SWAC down because the first year they came in there with all the rappers in the videos, all that foolishness going on.
They let Leo Fields Jr. beat them.
Yeah. Hey, listen. And that's what, but here's the thing. And remember, the MEAC coaches all got together and game planned. Second year, guess what? Jack State coach was. He was on a plane talking about this is your new quarterback, and I'm bringing my own luggage. I don't care what nobody says. That is not good for a team. With as much talent that team Jack State had, that is not good. I'm never going to me as a person for Jack. I will never forget Dion for that because that was an all-time great team. And even though Central punched them in the mouth, Jackson State had the horses to win that game, and they were not focused. And the fact that he suspended Niles Gaddy for being late for 5 minutes. Come on, man. No, I'm not having that. No, sir. So honestly, it is not that this big disparaging thing. Jackson State fumbled the bag. A&T was good, and Grambling won. Now we'll see what happens here. We'll talk about that matchup. But I want to put that out there.
All righty. Let's talk about the road travel. Right, we all know about the conference records that have gone on, but you have, the MEAC having the 5 games, so they have to have these out of conference games. Power 5, a lot more Power 5s. You have Eastern Michigan. You have Northwestern for Howard. You have FAMU with the South Florida and West Florida matchups. Do you think that the roads traveled to get here will determine or will have the teams tested and ready for this game? Perry, it's on you.
I think for Howard it will, because you saw it have them tested towards the end of the season, going on the road, losing by 10 to Eastern Michigan, 33-23. And then, you know, losing to Hampton 35-34. That was really a head scratcher right there, losing to Hampton. But you look at Howard. Howard started the season out before they went on their run in conference play, 2-4, a 48-7 loss to Harvard. They were able to get a victory against Robert Morris, 35-10. 23-20 loss to Northwestern. I think that was really what was eye-opening to everybody. Like, they went on the road and played Northwestern like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this team could have some upside, which is, I think, why you continue to see the upside for you. But I can't believe you're going against them. But the fact is that you continue to see that. But they were battle tested. Once they got into conference play, they started the road. You start to see their overall record improve. They're 6-5, 4-1 on the season. Victories against Norfolk State, Delaware State, North Carolina Central, and Morgan. And for me, the most impressive win on the season was what they did against North Carolina Central. The fact that Central said what they said last year and preseason, and the fact that Howard stood up and rang the bell when it mattered most and beat their ass and kept them out of the Celebration Bowl. To me, that was most impressive. But that non-conference was brutal, and to see them battle through, it made them battle tested towards the end. Now for FAMU, as you see, you talk about earlier, the difference with the MEAC and the SWAC. Clearly the SWAC seems like it's easy to Willie Simmons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Seems like he's had his opportunity where in 3 years, they've only lost 2 SWAC games, and that's to that same one team in Jackson State. And they have rolled on at 11-1 record. Nothing about West Florida, who I thought was going to get him a little bit more run for the money, but this don't quite seem like the West Florida of a few years ago. And then, of course, the South Florida game, it was back and forth. South Florida wins that game 38-24. But I just think the road for Howard was a little bit more battle tested, more so against than what FAMU did.
What you got, Mr. Gamble?
Well, Scott and I talked about this earlier. So this was a great definition of two philosophies. FAMU set their schedule up to get to the Celebration Bowl, point blank period, because they had a very simulated team. Those guys have been through the wars, so you didn't need that. What you needed for this team was to be healthy. So there you go with the Lincoln and West Florida. Now, here's the thing. Howard, they played Northwestern and they played Eastern Michigan. But here was the thing when I started looking at their record. And then when they got in the conference, they played Norfolk. They only won 27-23. They played Delaware. They only won 17-10. They lost to South Carolina State 24-27. Of course, they blew out Central, but they only beat Morgan 14-7. So that's when you start looking. This team did not dominate, even by playing that tough schedule early, did not turn that on to say, you know, we played better competition. Let's dominate this competition. Because they didn't. They were a couple plays away from losing all those games, other than the Central game. So my thing is, I think what Willie and them did, because if you remember last year, we played that game against North Carolina. That game ruined our season. People were hurt, people were broke up and everything, and we never recovered from that. Now we go into this game with everybody healthy, with everybody confident, with everybody ready to go. So my thing is, I want to see what is the better strategy. Do you keep your team all the way healthy and focused, or do you have them battle tested like what Howard did, but you still did not see that turn into where, you know, when we get in conference play and we play lesser competition, we're going to be a better team? Because I really never saw them be the better team. They did win, and I give them credit for that, because the great thing about them, to Perry's point, say if they would have played Virginia Union or Winston-Salem, that's 2 more wins on it. So then are we talking about a different thing now? All of a sudden they're 8-3. And now FAMU, now people say, well, you know, Howard looks really good. So I don't want FAMU to be fooled or be, you know, like, you know, this is a 65 team, because this reminds me of South Carolina State. And I told Scotty had the show and I called in. And I know that Coach Putty Pugh said this when they played Jackson. We have played better teams than Jackson State. Howard could say the same thing. Howard could be so arrogant and say, FAMU might be the 4th best team we played, because according to everybody, Central was the best HBCU team, right? That's what everybody said. Then they played 2 power.
And I
So,
would say this, you know, you talked about those close games because it didn't seem like they dominated, but I think you just can't single Howard out. You got to look at the conference as a whole. Everybody seemed like they were battle tested by the time they got to conference play, not just Howard. Everybody's non-conference put them in a position to where they finally got together on the level that they play within conference, where it made it those fights that you see with those close games. And I think it was the conference as a whole with non-conference schedule and not just Howard, which is why you saw those games being as close as it was.
but I'm still not sold because, again, when you go in there and, again, those teams, I just think, now here's what I think. I think the top end of the MEAC may be Central, but I think I guess the depth is all relative because they don't have enough teams to have depth. So I'm not going to even make that point because they only got 6 teams. Keep up. We can move on.
Yeah, Morgan State's beat Richmond, right?
Yeah.
North Carolina Central beats Elon and Campbell, right? The conference as a whole within Norfolk State, I think, beat somebody that kind of was a head scratcher, you know. And everybody played non-conference. They were playing tough. Everybody didn't win them, but they were playing.
They beat Hampton. They beat Hampton. They beat Hampton.
You know, so it was like everybody was battle tested. So it wasn't just one team who took a gauntlet and then jumped into conference play. And then it was like, well, where is this same play we saw in I think everybody was there. Everybody was just finally glad to get back to the level of playing for everybody else because there were some tough non-conference scheduled games that the conference did as a whole.
I think for me, when I look at some of these games, and I like the way you're taking it, Perry, about how every team is battle tested before they get into conference because of the out of conference schedule being so hard. So that does add a layer to adding to conference play because when you just look at it for conference play, you can look at a couple of these games where Howard has to come back at the end just to, you know, kind of squeak out these games, you know, with the South, they lose to South Carolina State, but they have a close fight with Norfolk. They got the close fight with Delaware State and things like that. So it does make you want to hesitate in the Morgan State game being as close as it is. The NCCU being the outlier for me, the way that it was, lets me know how much they wanted that game and how much they got up for that game. And being there and seeing it up close and personal, it was personal. I mean, it was personal, and I could just tell by the way that Howard's old line came to play that it was going to be a different mentality when it came to that game. So, you know, as much as you can take like, I think the NCCU game is the outlier, if I'm being honest, of just what it was because of all the emotion that was packed into that game and how they were ready for it. But I think the close games, what you saw in the MEAC, I think that was it, who Howard is, if you know what I'm saying. But to keep it fair, if you can get a Howard team that can put it all together, you can get an NCCU score. You get what I'm saying? You can get an NCCU dropping 40 on you because everything is rolling their way. You know what I'm saying? So very, very mindful of that as well. All right.
And quite frankly, the SWAC is just the conference games. You're playing more conference games. I mean, the first 7 games of the season for FAMU, 5 of those games were conference games.
Yeah.
The first 7 games of the season for Howard, they ain't touched the conference game yet. You know, so at the same time, you can see why most SWAC and particularly FAMU is just the amount of conference games that they have that they're looking at the conference play more than the non-conference play.
Absolutely. The matchups. Mr. Campbell, I'm gonna start with you. What are some matchups that you're looking forward to this game, or you're like, hey, this is a key matchup that I will be mindful of, or something that I hyper focused on?
Well, what I have heard all the way through was the bragging about Howard's offensive line and their big 6'8" offensive tackle and that guard. So what I'm curious to see is what has been our bread and butter is our D-line, that we have set the tone with that D-line. And this goes back to the history of the Celebration Bowl. What the MEAC has been able to do is been able to smack the SWAC in the mouth and punch them in the mouth. So are we going to see Howard saying, you know what? We're going to toss the ball to the halfback. We're going to run behind this big offensive line. And FAMU, we want to see if you stop it. We want to see you stop it. What I want to see is this, fam, you're going to play Florida, forget swag football, Florida football, fast, be in the backfield. That lets you think about Florida State and Miami, because this is what this team gives me the vibe. When we are faster, when they snap the ball, we're already in the offensive backfield. That's what I want to see from the first matchup, is the offensive line from Howard versus our D-line. Now, the next thing I want to see is this, is what is Musa going to do against Howard's DBs? Because what I have seen, Howard has some good DBs. But once again, Willie has dialed up plays, because Musa does not make plays. Willie's offense makes plays that Musa has to execute. And one of the things, Scotty, that you talked about, FCS team, you want me to tell you another thing too? You talk about adjustment. I'm going to tell you what FCS white PWIs do better than anything. They execute. They are going to execute their offensive defense. I don't care what you throw in them. They're going to run what they run. And they're going to do it better. They're not going to jump off sides and things like that. So what I want to see is when Willie comes with the game plan and he says, I'm going to show you this play is going to be open against Howard, is Musa going to be able to make that throw? Because we have seen it over and over again. If he makes that throw, we'll beat these guys by 20. But he misses these throws, and then guess what? We punt the ball, and then guess what? Our defense gets tired, because that's one thing about it. In these type of games, everybody's looking at the clock, because your butt starts locking up in games like this. Because you look up and say, oh, wait a minute. It's already the third quarter. Wait a minute. It's always, hey, well, call it however you want. Whatever you want to do. And that's the thing about it. You see it, because I've been in these games. I've been in big bowl games, and you can see these guys start looking at the clock. You can see these guys saying, oh, wait a minute, because every play means something. So that's the two of the matches I'm looking at.
What you got, Perry?
Yeah, I'm looking at the trenches. I mean, when you look at the O-line versus D-line, you take Howard's O-line, a guy like Demetrius Weatherspoon. You look at a guy like Darius Fox, right? And you start to look at these guys, and then you look at FAMU's D-line. You talk about an Anthony Dunn Jr., right? You look at a General Hunt, right? And then at the same time, you start to look at the matchup from the DBs to the wide receivers, right? Howard, Casey Hawthorne seems to be their guy, right? Casey Hawthorne, 504 yards off of 35 receptions, 5 touchdowns. You start to look at the running backs of what Howard have in Eden James and Jared Hunter. Jared Hunter is another guy, 602 yards rushing this year, 8 touchdowns. And then you start to look at the linebacker play for FAMU. When you talk about these running backs, right? A guy like an Isaiah Major, who's going to have to go against that. Then you talk about the Casey Hawthorne. You start looking at a guy for FAMU, Lovey Jenkins. You start to talk about the Eric Smith, the Kendall Bowler. These matchups are going to be interesting to watch, this front seven and the backfields, right? The offensive backfields and the defensive backfields. This is the matchups I'm looking for. And most importantly, the way that we saw North Carolina Central perform against Howard, Howard's defense strong-armed Davius Richards, right? What would Jeremy Musa look like in this situation? Because he's not as mobile with his legs the same way Davius Richards is. But what would he look like once they apply pressure? And he may not be able to sit back there long, and he would have to be on the run in order to make plays, right? You got Jennings, who's going to be back there. You have Yanks. But when the ball is in his hands, will Howard's D-line, will Howard's defense force him in tough situations to have to put that ball back there with a guy like a Carson Hinton, right? A guy like a Kenneth Gallup Jr., right? And force him to throw it up where turnovers become a big thing in this game. That's what I'm interested to see. The matchups up front and what that DN does to do in terms of the pressure on the quarterback. And I'm not so much worried about Quentin Williams, because we've seen his up and down all season, right? He's either going to be there for you or he's not. And that's going to be a big difference maker for Howard. But Jeremy Musa seems to be the one I circle the most. Will he be able to limit his turnovers if Howard is able to apply pressure?
Okay. I think, and Bishop said it, Bishop Bonnet, shout out to him. I think he said it, the main, what everybody is most is FAMU's front seven, Howard's O-line. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be honest. I was watching some film last night of Howard, because I wanted to go back and watch the Eastern Michigan game, and I wanted to go back and watch some of the games. I don't think Dinkwa is that guy. I know a lot of people are very high on him, but watching him play, he doesn't. He's not a world beater. He's not somebody that you're just like, oh my God, we can't win that matchup. I think Anthony Dunn and the way he's been playing, that one-on-one matchup is going to be huge. Now, I will say this. Eden James is an absolute problem. If you're a FAMU fan, if you've never seen Howard play, trust me when I tell you, number 5 is a problem.
He's the sleeper impact player in this game.
I don't know how he is a sleeper. He is the impact. He is the guy. Like, it's not Q Will. It's Eden James. The sleeper to me is Jarrett. Jarrett to me is the sleeper, or if you can put Casey Hawthorne, one of those two guys to me are a sleeper. But when it comes to who that machine moves through, it moves through Eden James. He's the key, he the engine, he the car. He's everything for Howard. So it's Isaiah Major, those linebackers, that front seven, and how they attack the Howard O-line. This is the flip side of this is this. How does Willie stay balanced in this game? And to me, keeping Kenny, because Gallup is a very sneaky safety. He's very impactful, but he's very sneaky. Like, you'll see him in the alley. He can fill the alley really well. He's not the best in coverage, but he can do what he does. It's staying balanced to keep them off of your tendencies of what they expect will happen, what they think will be seen. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into it when I get to my score, but it goes down to FAMU's front seven, Isaiah Major being the defensive player of the year, Anthony Dunn being the all first team all SWAC, General Hunt being second team. Show those credentials need to show up and show out in this game, because it's going to come down to those trenches play that you talked about in the FCS playoffs that we're talking about right now. This what I like about this game is going to be a great old school type of game with just straight hard nose head. I'm about to say head on head, no homo. Helmet on helmet.
You good for at least 3 in a show. You good for at least 3.
Easy.
Helmet on helmet, football. So it is what it is. Do you have anything else, Mr. Kevin, on the matchup?
Yeah, I do, because I'm gonna tell you one thing, and I actually looked at my notes that I got down here. You want me to tell you the biggest mismatch that I want to see, that I think that could blow this game out? Our running backs and tight ends against Howard's linebackers. They can't run with those guys. I would love to see if Willie put our running backs in some pass patterns. Make those guys defend those guys. And I'll give you a perfect example. You remember the 2 plays that we should have went big against Southern? That play that Musa just missed. And everything.
The backfield, yeah.
That will, I guarantee you, that will kill Howard, because I don't think the linebackers can run with our guy. And that tight end streak, I think we could eat those guys up. I think we play action that. I think we can make some hay with that, with our tight end and our run back on their linebackers.
I'll tell you this. The one thing about that, I agree with you, but that's not that's not really FAMU's game. Like, you don't see them check down to the running backs a lot. That's not, they don't really get them guys involved like that in the flare and swings and all that. But I will tell you this, though, on the flip side, Howard throws a lot of screens. They throw a lot of running back screens. So they'll get your eyes moving one way and throw that running back screen on the other side, and Eden James and Jared Hunt and them boys get going, and they get those blockers out in front of them. So you got to be very mindful about that. I'm going to do a film breakdown on some of the key plays that you'll see from both teams, but, just little things like that. But, Mr. Campbell.
What do you think about Shareed and Marcus Riley in this matchup against this secondary of Howard? Because Marcus Riley against PV, and I know PV was near the bottom in pass defense, but overall, when you see him and the type of ability that he has, what do you like about him against these DBs?
The funny thing I love about the reason I love FAMU in this matchup so much is because it's not just one guy. It can be any guy that can beat you. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Marcus Riley is the guy, but the way FAMU is built, it's not like the Xavier Smith year where it was just like Xavier, and everybody else got scraps. It's really a distribution of the rock. Whatever the play dictates, whatever the defense dictates. So if it's Riley going for 10 catches for $150, it could be Shareed going for 6. and 90. It could be Nick Dixon going for 7 and 100 in the tub. Like, they can beat you with so many different guys. That to me is what makes this team even dangerous. Now, G, the scout for draft HBCU, he'll say that, well, Howard has great DBs. They like to play man to man. Okay, when you're dealing with somebody like Willie Simmons, play man to man if you want to. Play man to man across the board if you want to. I'm just going to rub and pick you to death. It just that's common sense, because the way Howard plays their man to man, first of all, they play off man. They don't play a lot of press man. They play off man, 5-7 yard coverage, and they play you man like that. Well, if I'm Willie, he just gonna take the 2-yard hitch. He gonna take the 1 yard screen and let Sheree do what he do. Let Marcus Raleigh and just like he said when he came on the show, that's as good as a run. If I throw it 1 yard and you pick up 4, that's as good as a run. And he said, I call it a gift. That's a gift. We'll take that every time. So I don't think the way people, I'm not saying Howard isn't talented. I'm not saying Howard doesn't have guys. But to me, schematically, Willie is going to dial it up, and nobody dials it up better. I've watched enough Howard footage to tell you that Howard don't dial it up. Now, what they do is they have that FCS white boy mentalities. We're going to run what we run, and we're going to roll with it. But I'm telling y'all, when you got to have a play and you got to have it dialed up, nobody does it better than Willie. They just don't. What you got, Mr. Campbell?
Well, that's the thing about it. How many times we talked about Willie has dialed up plays where guys are just running wide open. Just wide open. He has looked at the defense, Musa checks, called this play, and guys are running wide open. That is a great coach. And I expect to see the same thing, because like with you, and I'm telling you something, you're playing in, if you let those guys step back 5, 6, 7 yards, guess what? We just pitch it and catch it. And for Musa, oh man, listen, now I'm really excited, because now I've got my confidence. Now I'm bringing the guys up, and then we run that cross pattern with Marcus Riley. That's touchdown.
That over route. They do
that over route. That's a touchdown. We have seen that play get set up 1,000 times the whole season.
Yep.
So for me, I really want, see, that's the reason why I said, to your point, but this is what I'm talking about when you got a coach that's got a couple of weeks to prepare. 2 weeks is a long time. I don't care. Super Bowl coaches do it all the time. I know Howard has a whole month, but 2 weeks is still enough time to say, let me look at these guys, stuff like that. And I'm telling you, I really think that Will is going to say, we got some matchups, especially with that tight end and things like that, to get some good, solid throws. So another thing, too, I want us to stay in front of the chains. I want us to have 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3 like that. Because once again, that's when everything gets wide open. That's when everything gets wide open. So that's really what I'm looking for. See Willie can do that.
All right. Listen, guys, you already know what it is. It's that time. Celebration Bowl picks. Mr. Campbell, you first. You're the celebrity guest picker. So,
hey, man, listen. I'm going to say this, and I'll say this again. I've been around FAMU 35 years. And this goes back to, what does this team want to be? One of the greatest all-time teams ever in FAMU history. They can do that by winning this game on Saturday. This team has been focused. This team has always been the 100, and they're going to be the 100 this year. So I don't think the big stage and all that, I don't think it's wrong. Another thing, too, and I'm going to say this to my FAMU people. This is a championship game. I don't care about what nobody else says. This is our championship. So I need you in that dome at 12 noon. I don't need you talking about no parties. I don't need you talking about no Marching 100. I need you to be white folks loud, because we need to take that dome over. I need you to be white folks loud, because I want that team, that dome, to feel like Bragg North. With that being said, if that dome feels like Bragg North, guess what? We always going to score 35. So we're going to score 35. The question is what Howard's going to score. We've held people to 14 points. I'm going to give Howard 7 more. I'm saying FAMU going to stay what they've been staying with, 35, no more, no less, and Howard 21.
All right. Perry,
I think this is an interesting matchup. Now, this is when I break down the numbers. You start to look at what these teams do in terms of an average. Let's take FAMU and what they've been averaging so far this year, 30 points a game, right on offense. You look on the other side in terms of Howard, what they've been giving up. They've been giving up about 21 points a game on defense. Overall, you look at averaging 14 points given up for FAMU on defense. Howard is averaging 23 points. on offense. I like this matchup of the uncertainty of going back and forth of both these teams. And FAMU giving up only an average of 267 yards a game on defense. They average 143 yards rushing, which is real modest, but giving up only 96 yards rushing. You talked about Eden James and Hunt being big in this game for Howard. They're going to have to go up against a FAMU defense that's only given up 96 yards a game rushing. Right?
Where's the Howard defense ranked at?
In terms of
passing and rushing.
Howard is giving up in terms of the season 129 yards passing a game, and rushing they're giving up an average of 180 yards a game. Excuse me, 186 yards a game. Yeah.
I think that South Carolina State game really shot that average up, but still, that's still bad though. 186. You was at least at 100 when South Carolina State came into play. But yeah, Perry, let me ask you, with the stats, right? Could that be just in your opinion? Could that be just with the passing yards, right? Because there's not many quarterbacks in the MEAC.
And the passing yards for who? For Howard?
Or passing defense?
There's
not a lot of quarterbacks in the MEAC that you're like, oh man, he gonna throw it. You know what I'm saying?
About it. Only giving up 129 passing yards a game, man. And the MEAC is never just that. You don't see just Davius Rich outside that. The MEAC has really been a ground and pound type of league, right? Yeah. That's really what it is. Like I said before, you don't see the spread around of the skill position players like you see in the SWAC. And that's why I like with the way FAMU is built. That's why I say, although they are MEAC-ish, you see the spread around of the skill position players. They have multiple weapons, and where it's just not have to focus on the ground and pound. Quentin Williams, if he having a slow day, it's nobody else truly to bail him out unless they can get the running game going. There's nothing exciting about Howard's wide receivers, right?
None.
As much as we yell out Casey Hawthorne, there's nothing truly exciting about what they give you from there. And if you got a run game in terms of with Hunter and Eden, and if they can't get off, because think about it, if FAMU's giving up 96 yards rushing a game, that's it. You know what Howard's averaging a game rushing? 180 yards.
Woo!
Will they be able to have that success against this defense? That's going to be the deciding factor, because if they can't get that run game going, I think that's going to ultimately transpire to what Howard is going to be able to do in order to try to get in the end zone. Because Howard's not known for explosive plays. FAMU is known for explosive plays. They can hit you big down the field. They can hit you on special teams. They can score when they need to. And even on turning the ball over on defense, being able to get those DBs involved, they can get you in multiple different ways to where if Howard finds themselves behind in this game, it's going to be tough to climb out of that. And that's the part that I look at in this matchup, the explosiveness of what FAMU can do and what Howard, I think for me, they're going to have to play time of possession. You do not want FAMU with the ball in their hand multiple times, because they can be explosive. They can run it with Jennings and Yance. They can spread it around with Shareed and with Riley. They can hit you with special teams. And you never know really what you're going to get out of a Jeremy Musa. Even when he struggles, it seems he does just enough. If I'm Howard, I play the run game and I play the time of possession in this in order to give myself a chance. Don't keep giving the ball back and forth, because that's what they were doing to MEAC, right?
Yeah.
It was a seesaw game. I'm going to go 3 and out, then I give you the ball, you go 3 and out. Oh, you don't do nothing, I'm going to give you the ball. And that's all they was doing all conference. If you watch the MEAC football, it was going back and forth. You can't play that type of game with FAMU.
But let me, hold on. I'm sorry. I just want Perry. That's a great point. But Scott, I want to go back to your point. This also goes back to I'm sitting up here looking. I looked at all this. Delaware State quarterback threw for 118 yards. He didn't throw for like over 200 yards in like any game. And we're not going to talk about the South Carolina State quarterback. That boy threw 93 yards, even though they ran for damn near 500 yards against Howard. But to your point, it's not like they have seen guys that can toss the ball. And it's because their ability, not because they don't want to. The guys don't have the ability to throw for 300 yards. They just don't. So you can't make that up saying, oh, Howard defense is shutting people down. No, those quarterbacks can't throw for 300 yards. All right, so I'm sorry, Perry. I didn't want to interrupt it, but I did want to make on Scotty's point about that.
You're essentially based off your own players. You're one-dimensional. Based off the players that you have on your team has ended up being one-dimensional. But Perry, what's your score?
I was kind of back and forth. I want to go. I'm going 28-14, but I think this thing can be, and it's a multiple different ways. I think it could be 31-7. I think it can get to a point to where it could be 21-7. Anyway it go, I got FAMU. Somewhere down the line, I think Howard can sneak out 2 scores, but Howard does not really do a lot of scoring. And that's the part that got me a little nervous against them, because they're going to need that run game. And if they run game can't get going, if they can't bust plays or at least be able to get themselves down the field, I don't know how many points can they put up on this in this game. So I'm going to go 28-14.
This is where I'm gonna tell you this. This is what, from watching the film, and I'm gonna go back and watch it some more tonight. And well, I'm flying down to Fort Lauderdale tomorrow, so and I'll watch it sometime tomorrow. But the thing for me is this: when it comes to, you got to put this game on Quentin Williams. You got to make Q Will be a quarterback, because it's not too many times. If you watch his game, if you watch how he plays, there's not too many times he's going to throw the ball over 15 yards. He's usually a 15 and down type of quarterback. You see a lot of rollouts, you see a lot of hitches, the mesh concepts in the middle, drags. You see a lot of that digs. It's out. It's not a lot of pushing the ball down the field type of stuff. It's a lot of just, hey, let's pick up 6 yards, let's pick up 8 yards. Let's do that. Let's keep it balanced. Let's keep them off balance.
And that's why you see him with low interception numbers. He only has 4 interceptions on the year because of that.
They saw legit QBs out of. Please name a legit QB out of conference for that the Howard DB. Okay, that's. I'm not about to go down there. My thing is this. my thing is this. Because just because they go to Power 5 doesn't mean they're legit. But anyway, my thing is this. Will Howard come out and throw it just to keep you off balance? Because that's what I would do. That would be me. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, I know you would always say, hey, do what you do that got you here. But I know FAMU is going to come in with the premise of stopping the run. So essentially what FAMU did in the SWAC championship against PV, because did nobody see that go route coming. I don't care who you think you are. Nobody saw that go route coming from Musa in the rain to Marcus Raleigh. To me, if I'm Q Will, I'm slot fading it with Casey Hawthorne. First, second play off the rip, I'm going deep fade because I got to push you suckers back to make you think that we're going to go over your head or we can go over your head. But that's just me personally. But I'm going to say this with my score. 31-17. I really wanted to go 35-14, if I'm being honest. That's really where I was feeling. But I'm going to go 31-17. I'm going to be a little conservative. Once again, the only team in my personal opinion that can Howard not good, and you better. Howard's not good. They got beat 48. Okay, anyway, I'm not about to intend that. I think that, like I've said from the beginning, the best team is FAMU. The team that can beat FAMU is what they see in the mirror. To me, that's the only team in HBCU football that can beat FAMU is who they see in the mirror. And I'm gonna keep riding with that premise. 31-17 FAMU. What you got, P?
I'll say, you know what makes me nervous though? If they show up like they did against North Carolina Central, if they show up pissed off, maybe feeling underdog, like I don't know, like if there's something that gets into them, because that was just explosive, right? If they can show up like that, because you break that down, what did they do to put up 50 points against North Carolina Central?
First of all, the run game was rolling. The run game was rolling, okay? It didn't matter what they did. Jared Hunter, Ethan, it didn't matter. And then once NCCU came up and had to stop the run, it was one-on-one matchups with Casey Hawthorne, and he hit him behind the head with it, stuff like that. So they just had it going. They really just had it going. And the run game was moving. I'm telling you, Eden James is an absolute monster. To me, Quentin Williams is not going to be the reason that Howard wins this game. It is going to come down to that running attack. And I think if Eden James gets off, it's going to be a long day for FAMU, because you're going to be chasing that little sucker all around the field because he's that good.
I'm sorry, Scotty. Perry, I do want to make a point. what you said about bulletin board material. The one thing Willie has never done, and it's his demeanor. And again, I got to compare a team that's coming in with a gaudy record like FAMU, like Jack State. We don't talk. We don't have players that are flashy like Shadur and Travis and all those guys that they had. If you notice, our guys are not big mouth guys. They're not all on social media. People don't know them. Those guys are hard head guys. And our coach kind of moves that way because Willie is an underdog guy. If you look at Willie's story, Willie has always been an underdog. He has always had to fight and scrap. And I think our team takes a lot of that. So to your point, you got to remember, Howard was fired up because Central's coach was like, oh, you playing for a class ring. We put 50 points on you. Blah, 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 blah. You haven't heard none of that coming out of FAMU's mouth. You haven't heard any FAMU people saying that. Now, FAMU fans, we're talking, but we're not playing. But I'm talking about our coach and our team. We're not giving that extra fuel to the fire that somebody like a South Carolina State had or NCCU had last year against Jackson. We're not talking like that. So I'm not worried about those guys looking for something because we just haven't done it. Other than they're saying, well, we're going to beat them because they got a better record. But there's no Shadur or no flashpoint on this team for FAMU to say, that guy's a big mouth. I want to knock his ass out the game.
And sometimes it don't necessarily have to come from another team. Sometimes it's the psychological game that a coach will play with his own players. This is supposed to be the best team. This is supposed to be that. This is supposed to be, he can psych them out.
Yeah.
Everybody picking FAMU. Everybody feel like FAMU's supposed to be here and we not supposed to be here. There's a lot of different ways. It don't necessarily have to come from talking from a coach or from players via social media or being on video. It's just psychologically a coach psyching his team out to say, look at them and look at us. We 6-5, they 11-1. That alone got to tell you that don't nobody believe in us, right? That alone have you feeling that type of way. And that's the part of it that I say, I don't know, because coach obviously said something to him. It wasn't just what North Carolina Central said in order for them to beat the hell out of them. It had to be something out of that locker room to get them guys in that mind space to work up to that all week. Trust me, there's been press conferences. You see where the energy going. People want to talk to Willie Simmons. People trying to figure out what's going on with FAMU. It's not so much excitement about Howard. Jay Walker probably the happiest guy alive because of Howard.
But see, this is what I got to say. Please remember, this is still Howard University. This ain't South Carolina State or Delaware State. There's a level of arrogance that flows through that whole school. Okay?
But not to football, though.
Yeah, but listen, I'm going to try to tell you something. There's a level of arrogance that flows through that whole school that from the top to the bottom, that those guys are not coming there like they some poor, is we. Now, to your point about people picking FAMU, yeah, I'm going to get it. But I'm talking about apples to apples. When Jackson State came in that game, there was all this hype. There was talking. There was a lot of this, a lot of that. FAMU's not doing any of that. The Central coach said that those guys got class rings. The Central coach said that. Okay? There's a difference when you start doing stuff like that. So, of course, I respect that Howard's going to come in and want to play and be motivated to beat FAMU. Of course, I think any team is going to be that. But I'm talking about that extra stuff that we've seen in the past in these games. It's just not there. It's just the heat is not there compared to the last couple of years.
You can try to be Mr. Nice Guy all you want, bro. I know that's what you want. You don't want to give them no, but I know what you're doing. I see the
no, but you can't tell me. You can't show me a quote where Willie has ever just come on or any of our players. You can't.
That's what but you missed what I said initially. I said it does not necessarily have to see. You're going back and making that. I'm not talking about the players of the coach. And I said it doesn't necessarily have to come from a player or from a coach. You still got fans that talk shit that players see. You still got an idea of when you look at 6-5 and 11-1, you got to tell yourself when you look at that, they're 11-1 and we're 6-5. People was counting us out and we're in this position where we are now to play for a championship. It's the psychological game that a coach can play. And the bulletin board material don't necessarily have to come from your coach and your players. It can just be a psych out mind game that coach can play with his own players to get them hyped up to feel like they the underdog and that nobody say we supposed to be here, right? Did they say that against North Carolina Central? They had them as the #1 team all year. We going against this team who they think the #1 team. Let's beat their ass the same.
But that's what I said. But if you remember, I said that earlier. If I'm the coach behind closed doors, I what did I say? This team is the 4th best team that we played. And we play. So we are not going to be intimidated by these guys. I said that when the show started. on my part. So I agree with you on that, but I'm just talking about because there was so much smoke in these games before. Is that it's just not the same. So I'm just kind of comparing that.
So why
part.
y'all ain't talking shit? You know, I thought y'all what's up?
No, because let me tell you, let me tell you something, because I'm gonna tell people, like I said, Willie's demeanor, if you know Coach Simmons, and I'm gonna give him respect, Coach Simmons, his demeanor is about hard work and completing the mission. Willie just don't, now he has a level of confidence because he wear that shotgun across his chest now. But the way Willie moves, Willie is from Quincy, Florida, and that comes from hard work and building. And I think this team has just always been like that. And plus we don't have big mouth guys. We don't have flashy guys on this team.
I'm talking about you.
Oh, no. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Shit about Southern, you was talking all that shit.
No, well, listen, because
this weekend.
Because what it is, because let me tell you something. First of all, let me tell you the reason why.
The biggest game.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you a question. First of all, we've been kicking Southern's ass, and everybody been kicking Southern. I was never worried about y'all.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, I'm answering your question. You said, where's the energy at? I knew we were going to beat y'all at before we got on the bus. So that was easy.
About Howard here.
I'm about to answer. And listen, what I'm telling you is, I know that this team needs to be focused, and I'm not going to sit up there and talk all that craziness when I know we're trying to win a championship. Listen.
He's not going to talk all that.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I'm not. Yeah, that's weak to me. Like you gonna get all the way to the championship game.
No, because let me tell you this. Here's the thing. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm gonna lose Perry's thing. Perry, what's FAMU's record against the Swaxers? We've been there. 23-2. We ain't worried about none of y'all jokers. We kicked all y'all asses for the last 3 years.
We talking how?
No. So you asking me why my energy is different? I'm answering your question. And wait a minute. We haven't played Howard. We played y'all. So my energy is going to be easy. We kicked y'all ass.
So let me put this on the line for you. The last time both teams played Howard and FAMU was in November of 2019. FAMU won 39-7. FAMU leads the all-time series 29-11. If you had success, and I'm hearing you talking all that, why are you so humble all of a
Oh,
sudden?
easy. Because you know why I'm humble? Because when I come back on here next Monday, I'm gonna be at the very start of the show.
I get that.
So listen. So that's easy. No. See, listen. I'm telling you. See, this is the thing. Listen, I'm gonna sit back. I'm telling you, listen, they ain't, first of all, hold on, whoa. They ain't no fear.
I heard Willie Simmons said, because we brag different.
We do brag different.
And you
we do brag different.
You can't go into the championship game real meek, mild, and humble.
Listen. No, it's not meek, mild, or humble. But once again, here's what I'm gonna tell you what we're not gonna do. See, listen to the thing about it. And I was down there, and Willie said that we're not gonna beat Jackson State. Well, we're coming up there thinking the game is over before we got there. See, we learned. We saw that. We're not going to make that mistake. Our fans are not going to make that mistake because that's what Jackson did the last 2 years. So we're going to learn from that. We're going to learn from that.
You talking shit all see. I'm talking about you coming on here doing reports. I'm talking about you on folks' ass all season. And now you going to come in here and you sound like the perfect customer service. Yes, sir. We'll yes, sir. We'll make sure you 1 year free trial run. Yes, sir. Anything else you need, sir? Yes, sir. We appreciate your service, sir.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. Wait. See, so y'all hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Perry, I agree with you, Perry. I 100%. I 100% agree with you, Perry.
Okay. I can do that. You want me to? All right, Perry. Listen, that was a phone call from the folks from FAMU. Since they said this person from Southern, who ain't beat us in God knows how long, want to start some mess. No. So I'm gonna tell you, listen. No. Listen, you couldn't even afford a doggone Valley shirt, so you damn sure can't afford a Howard shirt. So we ain't gonna even worry about that. You couldn't even afford a Howard shirt. So you can't even afford that. But here's what I will tell you.
Valley, Southern, and everybody.
Listen, because we listen. So I'm gonna tell you, they can bring all the celebrities. They can bring all the stars. Hell, Kamala Harris can come with the Secret Service. We're going to walk out that dome, and we're going to do something that y'all asses ain't never done and be SWAC champions in the Celebration Bowl.
Leave us alone, huh?
No, I'm just saying, well, you the host.
Leave us alone.
You the host. You the host. And KJ Black, we still waiting on that $100 because we need that because we're in a deficit. So I still need to get my $100 we still ain't got that yet. So I need KJ to pay me my money.
It showed is a little different in this motherfucker.
That's all I'm saying. Hey, Mr. Campbell, appreciate you for your time, man. Thank you for we'll see you down in Atlanta. All right, listen. Hey, man, I agree with you, man. I ain't going. Like that's just different. That's just
real humble and shit. I'm like, bro, I'm not feeling this. If it's a championship this week, we 11-1. We've been rolling. We the one to swag. I'm coming in this motherfucker talking. I'm walking in through the door like I'm the man around here. Hey,
you didn't know,
me about
and we the favorite. And we the favorite.
And you sit here, oh man, yes sir. Look, hey, a tremendous season, great coach, got good players. You know what I'm saying? Howard, formidable opponent. You know, but you study telling me about how you done whoop Southern ass. I get it. I heard that all. See, but this ain't us. Why you keep? This is like when you seen the video where when the dude get into it with the dude in the street, and then but the dude started trying to fight him, but he'll walk back and his homeboy be like, well, why you didn't fight? Now he want to fight his homeboy instead of fighting the nigga that was right there trying to fight you. Like, bruh, you should have fought the nigga that's trying to fight you. What you trying to fight me for? He the one talking shit.
I'm just asking a question.
He the one, and he's still whooping. And you just not gonna say nothing to him, huh? But you mad at me. I just can't believe he was that humble tonight.
Oh man.
Hasn't he been on everybody's ass all season?
Everybody neck. So when you said that, I was like, yeah, I can't let you rock. Because I can't let you come back on next week and talk all the trash that you want when you came in and you all like, I just, we just, we're here to just play a really good. You're like,
it almost sounds like they nervous. It gives me a hint of like, they say you can sense something when the lion can sense fear.
Yeah.
It's like I can low key kind of sense because I can't believe what was the shit he was talking before they played Prairie View?
I don't even know.
The shit that he was talking before they played Southern. Right? I don't hear. I'm like, my guy, what is going on? Right. I don't know.
All right. Listen, hey guys, if you're a FAMU fan, got that new merch drop, Save the Swag is in full attendance. Let me get this link up for you. This is the link. Get your Save the Swag shirts for the Celebration Bowl. If you're confident, if you are confident, if you're not confident, don't do it. Don't do it. Let me pull this up so you guys can see it. Hopefully my internet is. But yeah, I don't know what is going on with my internet right now. It's not working. It's not pulling up. Let me see. Oh, here it goes right here. All right, here we go. Got it. All right. So let me bring this up real quick. Here we go. Bam. Say the Swag. Got the Say the Swag shirt. Shout out to my guy Merch Pack. You already know what it is. Bringing you that heat as always. Save the Swag. You can buy them, get them pre-ordered. Listen, ain't no refunds. Don't try to go buy the shirt because you think you're going to win and if you lose talking about something. Oh, I don't want my money. Nah. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. Trust your team. Pick your ass up a shirt. Let me zoom this in so y'all can see. So y'all can see what it is. All right, pick your ass up a shirt.
Is Howard in the chat? Howard show what they do. The bison is a bison emoji. Let me see Howard if Howard in the chat. Put whatever y'all do. Like, is Howard even in here tonight?
Let me take it off of membership. So let me see.
Yeah, I want to see if Howard's in the house.
All right, here we go. I took it off of members only. So it should be subscribers. So whoever subscribed, they can tell you. So if you are, let me see.
Yeah, Howard, where you at?
Yeah. So if you Howard, put your bisons in the chat. I highly doubt they in there. They don't really. I think
and,
they.
Who won on that poll? Did you close the poll? How did that poll turn out?
Let me see. How the poll turn out? Jackson State.
What was the percentage?
63%.
Right. A&T shouldn't even be in that conversation.
Yeah, 63%. All right. But man, shout out to Merch Pack. You already know what it is. Save the Swag Shop. Go get you a shirt. Go ahead and pre-order right now. Save the Swag. All right. I was supposed to talk about this in the beginning, but I totally forgot. Thank God I remembered late. You know what I'm saying? But I still remember. All right.
What you think this is going to sound like in the booth with Tiffany Green, FAMU, Jay Walker, Howard? They two teams playing for a Black College National Championship. How much shit talk you think going to be between them two?
Dog, I think it's gonna be better. It's gonna be a lot, but I think watching the telecast is gonna be 10 times better than watching the game. Yeah. Just of what the interaction is gonna be like with Tiff and with Jay after every touchdown, and how professional they'll be able to stay and things like that. I'm excited. I'm just excited to see with the winner how the winner gloats and brags to
because Jay gonna talk about himself. And hell, he gonna give me top 5 Bisons of all time. Look, he gonna gloat. That dude gloats about Howard any and everywhere. And Tiffany love her Rattlers.
Yeah, she do. She absolutely does. Let me see. They said the link's not working. Let me go back. Here, try this one. I'm just taking straight off the shirt. So.
And y'all can go get your lunch and your popcorn at concession during halftime. This is going to be a snooze fest at halftime, man. Listen. FAMU and Howard, snooze fest.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's the link. If you want to get the shirt, go ahead and get that. Knock it out. Perry, last words before we get up out of here.
I love America. I love myself. God bless America. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa.
You filthy animal.
I love my son. I love my mama. I love my family. I'm thankful. I'm appreciative. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody out there watching. I love y'all. Wouldn't be here without y'all.
Something wrong with you, man. Something wrong with you. Anyway, guys, listen, I appreciate y'all, man. Stay locked in. I will be traveling to Fort Lauderdale. I'll be doing the pre and post game show for the D2 Florida Beach Bowl. So definitely tune into that on HBCU League Pass Plus, HBCUs Plus. You see it up there on the top corner. Make sure you download the app if you want to watch the D2 football game. I'll be doing the pregame and postgame show for the Florida Beach Bowl down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. If you're down there, say what's up. We're gonna have a good old time. Me and Key leave out tomorrow at 4 a.m. So yeah, we definitely gonna be down there early. And I'll be working, man. I'll be working. So you already know what it is. Listen, he said, hey, merch pack. They want to know about that back to brag joint. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you make that happen. All right, listen, until next time, you know what I'ma do. I'ma holla. God bless. Appreciate you, Ron, for becoming a member, man. Appreciate you.